Yes. Ooh, we're going to be on the line at 8:55. Mm-hmm. Super early.
So early. Well, we're so early, we're a day early.
Man,
Super early.
we're a day and an hour early.
So
100% early. Hey, we online.
Man,
I don't know you.
that poster might need a bit more.
Bit more
South. Bit more opacity. Oh, you should use the other poster.
What other poster?
The boob poster.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want us to get hits and clicks.
Sick hits.
What's the poop poster? I didn't see a poop poster.
Shits.
I think it's on Letterboxd.
It is the other poster.
This
It's
thing?
It's the good one.
Right here?
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Whoa! Hello.
Oh, nope.
It's about that time.
Did someone join us? Hello, caller. Go ahead.
Who's on the line?
Fourth caller to 99 WBMF. What's your favorite bad movie?
Just like that. Boob poster.
Booster.
Poster.
Boob poster.
Booster.
There's a
Poster.
tweet that you people can retweet
Oh.
right now.
Oh, can we, Chuck?
yeah.
All right.
Did I say retweet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I
Oh, oh,
I think he did.
oh, yeah, yeah.
What?
Are you stuck?
No, obviously I progressed. And then can poop.
BJ Headroom over there is broken. yeah. Over there. Hey, hello.
Hey, caller.
Hi.
Hot
We
mic.
need to talk about how he enters the room.
Bing bong.
Oh, that's just going to start the stream again, isn't it? You son of a bitch.
You're restarting the stream?
No. No.
No.
No, 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 no.
Nope, nope,
All right.
nope,
That's fine.
nope,
Just thought I'd ask.
Nope, 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 nope. Nope.
Steve, you're about to find out. Stick with it.
This summer, Steve's about to find out.
Give us about an hour, and we'll give you the answer. And in the second half, we'll just talk about bullshit.
I saw a movie
What? When?
Oh, wow.
Thursday night.
Thursday night. He
Thursday
watched.
night.
What?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What the hell was that?
He's avoiding spoilers.
Of what?
I don't know. He's,
What Mackie did.
I'm continuing a journey
You watched Journey.
into a world of magic.
Continuing a journey into a world of magic.
2 hours and 41 minutes worth of magic. Jesus fuck.
What? Oh.
Hi, Jens. How's it going?
Hello, Jens.
the dream is over.
Oh, did you just totally not do the Jens voice?
Yes, he's moved on to the appropriate greeting now, which is hello, Jens.
He's shared a meal with the man
I've shared a couple.
for about 45 seconds.
Yes. At one point,
And then that meal was gone.
for less than a minute, both men had food.
I said, hi, Jens. in
There it
person.
is. There
Yeah.
So
it
now,
is.
so now I've broken the magic spell. So
Right.
I can say hello to Jens in a regular voice.
Finally, the last one of us to reach adulthood is here.
Where? Which one? Which one of us has reached adulthood?
Now you are a man.
Man.
You're a man.
What's going on?
Nothing.
Yeah,
All right.
right on.
How's everyone doing?
I'm good.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm pretty
all right.
good. How are you?
Man.
You know.
How's life?
uh,
How's business?
uh,
How's your business?
How's tricks? It's none of your business, Chuck.
Oh, sorry.
His business is none of your business.
Burger.
My business
Burger,
is kicking
burger.
ass.
Really?
Business is good.
Oh. Well, good for you.
It's good to hear.
That's good to know. Glad to hear someone's thriving in this.
Man,
Phew.
I want to know what the recaps of this are that the synopsis you're gonna be able to use.
I got one.
He's
Okay.
got one.
Yeah.
He's got one.
I edited it.
Well,
I made edits to it.
won't that be fun?
Well, I really just took the first part and said, that's enough. We'll talk more about it in the first half. Then we rate
Oh, that's what we do here.
Then we get, good bad movies.
Uh-huh.
Enjoyable bad
Bad
movies.
movies,
What?
Yeah. They're like, where my skull at noquarters.net.
More people have made that reference in the last 2 days than the entirety of the last 5 years.
What's that?
Referencing 50 Cent Blood on the Sand.
Oh,
What? How? Why?
Because every E3 trailer has prominently featured giant skulls for some reason. So everyone's
Really?
like, oh, that's where my skull. Yeah. So we should
little
jump
bit-
on this marketing right now.
Yeah, a little bit late to the party, those folks.
It's free. We should embrace it. You're the skull.
we all are the skull.
I should embrace the skull.
Oh, shit! There is a skull in here.
There is.
there my skull at. That is actually my skull.
It is not.
It is. It came from my head.
It didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yours is in the other room. In my BJ Bot 2000.
I wish I had one of those.
Ew.
Yeah, me too.
Ew.
Oh, not of him.
Oh. Oh, okay.
I mean the real BJ that's in the chat.
Oh. Oh, you mean BJ?
Yeah.
27.
That's not the real BJ.
So how's everyone out there in internet land doing?
How's your interneting today?
How was your weekend?
Yeah. What'd you do? Good to hear it. That's awesome.
I watched the Warriors win a championship.
Huh.
That
Shocker.
yesterday, not this past weekend.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
They attempted to lose it over the weekend on
They did.
Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting their asses handed to them.
I vaguely remember seeing some of that.
I was distracted by a moon fighting an anime girl.
I was putting liquor in my face hole.
Yep.
Yeah, we did watch some salty bet at a bar.
As you do.
Got salty about it.
Yeah.
I bet we did.
So, should we talk about this movie?
We totally should try.
We should do that in the first half.
Should we talk about how we came into the room?
Uh-huh.
To talk about this movie?
I walked in that door.
Did you?
Yep.
Wow.
Thank you.
Shit.
Keep it up.
You got it.
All right. I think this thing's good. Hello? Hello? Caller.
Are you recording?
Turn on your radio. Yes, Chuck.
Fantastic.
Great.
I wonder when I'm going to edit this.
I don't know. When? Are you going? Wait. Yeah.
Wait, what?
You're not- I don't know what's happening.
Chuck.
Hmm?
When are you going to edit it?
I don't know. I guess Thursday.
But you won't be.
If I still have audition on my laptop,
If you don't, what will you do?
I'll tell him to log out of.
I never even logged into
Ah,
here.
good
There's
call.
still an open one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just decided I could do what I needed to do
Okay.
with the GIMP.
Cool. We'll be good here. With Yep. Yep.
All right. Where is the thing? Okay, cool. All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey,
BMFcast.
Calf.
Episode 380.
Hey,
Numbers.
how about that? We're getting up there.
So I'm Harlow,
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
and what we do each and every episode of the BMFcast is we go ahead and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote movie, Come in here and talk about it for the first half.
Quote unquote movie.
Fuck, I don't know.
It might be a
Shit.
movie.
I fucked it up. Hold on. So what we do each and every episode of the BMFcast is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Come in here and talk about it for the first half. Then we rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jocks and robot jocks.
Robot jocks. Yay.
Excellent robot jocks.
However, there are bad movies. This doesn't stay away. They get a negative sliding scale. 1 to 5 bags and douchebags. Yeah, just after bags of douche.
After gross bags.
Formerly of vampires.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pointless.
So yeah, we're doing random movies because we're free to do random movies.
We got a stack of random movies.
Hey, man.
I've just been so used
It's
to
our
us
lives.
having some sort of dumb theme thing we're doing.
Nope.
Nope.
Not this time.
We did
you sons of
1987's Cherry 2000.
Yes.
C2K, if you will.
Yeah, so let's get a quick plot summary for this movie, and we'll talk more about it. When successful businessman Sam Treadwell finds that his android wife, Cherry Model 2000, has blown a fuse, he hires sexy renegade tracker E. Johnson to find her exact duplicate.
Electronic Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh.
E. Johnson, BMFcast alum.
Yeah.
Melanie Griffith. of
Right.
Roar.
Yes.
Roar.
I can't believe we've watched 2 Melanie Griffith movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of Roar.
Right. And pretty much everyone in this is a BAMcast alum.
Yeah.
Just about.
Tim Thomerson's the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in a few.
He has.
3 previous to this. This
Yep.
makes his 4th appearance.
Welcome again.
Good job, TT.
Robert Zadar has a small part.
He does.
Robert Zadar's part is always large. It just
This
doesn't
is
have
true.
a lot of screen time.
Yes. It's a short part.
The male lead, David Andrews, he was in Stealth.
Was he? Oh,
right.
shit. I did not
Way to
realize
dig that up.
Well,
Yeah.
it was on his list, and I recognized
Man.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, going back to episode like 7.
Yeah.
Brian James is in this.
Brian James, who
I know he's been in BAMFcast movies.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you which ones off the top of my head.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yes.
Oh, Larry Fishburne.
Yeah,
Yes, a Band of the Hand. Lawrence Fishburne.
Yep.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Of Band in the Hand.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, I think that might be it
okay.
as far as BAMFcast people.
All right. Fair enough.
But yeah, main one, David Andrews.
Yes. He was in Stealth.
Stealth.
Star
and
of Stealth.
recognizable from other movies.
Yeah, he's a that guy.
Yeah, for sure. Man,
Yeah.
where to start with this?
And then how to keep a cohesive plot.
Okay, well, to set the scene, the year is the distant future of 2017.
The
So far
future
away.
present.
So
Present.
I guess technology was getting pretty awesome towards the end of the 90s,
Yeah.
and we were making sex bots,
Yep.
and
we
then
were making them probably in 2000.
something happened. We don't know what. Some sort of apocalypse. And some large cities kind of sort of survived, and some places didn't. And
But Anaheim is okay.
Anaheim's okay because, that's near Hollywood and we can film there.
Recycling is important.
Yeah. So yeah, there's basically the whole world is like in a series of reclaiming things. So like Anaheim, our successful Treadwell guy is like working in a recycling place where
He's a suit.
he's just like picking parts out of trash and making other things, I guess.
I think he's in charge of the electrical extension cord department.
Sure.
I think that's his job. But
Okay.
but the movie starts with just sexy time. Cuz he rolls home and
Right, yeah. I was just trying to say
Oh yeah,
this is,
yeah.
well,
No,
this is
paint the universe.
This
Yeah.
is the universe that we live in. So, yeah, the movie opens and, like, over the credits, we are seeing a lady sort of undressed / dress. I guess she was changing. And it's just, this movie's rated PG-13, and it's weird because of basically the entire plot of this movie is about sex bots.
Yeah,
So it's kinda
that's weird danger sign number 1. PG-13 movie about sex bots.
So, yeah, just throwing that out there. So, you don't really see anything, but yes, this is happening, and yes, he comes home, and he's got Hot Future Car, which is like this 3-wheeled, weird little tiny,
I
like,
think
toy
they were
car.
known as sparrows at some point,
Okay.
Okay.
where it was like, but it's like 2 wheels in the front and 1 in the back, but it actually has an enclosed thing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, most of the future cars in this just look like weird like home-built track cars.
It is a Hawk Tri-Hawk.
Okay.
Hawk, try Hawk.
Hawk Tri-Hawk.
Come on, Hawk. Try, Hawk.
Try.
It's pronounced Hawk.
Hawk, try Hawk.
So, yes, he rolls up in his Hawk and goes inside, and there's Cherry 2000 waiting for him with a smile, and it's like, I made your favorite dinner. Would you like to eat, dear? Mm-hmm. And look, it looks like shitty microwave hamburger and fries and some sort of vegetable to go with that, strangely enough.
Green beans.
Is it green beans?
Sure.
Okay. I'm just saying.
And there's wine.
There is wine.
Sure.
There's wine that comes in like one of those, like those metal water bottles that are kind of popular now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in one of those. It's weird.
But she is like very proud that she learned some trivia about what do all these things have in common. And she lists off about 8 things. And she's like, they were all invented by Americans. And he's like, oh, yeah, who invented this? And she's like, does not compute. Would you like dessert?
Yeah.
And she just snatches his food away.
Yeah.
Right.
Of which he's had none.
Right.
and goes and dumps it in like the garbage disposal sink thing, flips it on, and then he comes over and it's like, all right, I guess it's sexy time. And they start rolling around the floor, and this sink is just filling up and begins bubbling and spewing out all this
Crazy
crud.
cyber sync.
Yep. And they
she
roll
put
Put the
around in it.
wrong soap in the sink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, she put like laundry soap in there in the sink. But yeah, so she's rolling around. They're rolling around the suds, and just, zzz, she must have had some exposed bits because she floods and short circuits. And
Well, she's a 17-year-old model, so
Wait.
So wait, so this is statutory robot stuff.
no, she's like, think of it in car years. Like
Okay.
she's 17.
So she's a 2000 model, and it's
Right, she's 17 years old.
okay.
Like she was manufactured in 2000.
well, that means they might have bought it in 1999, so you might be legal.
Yeah.
Because just like cars,
It's
come
not
out of
the
your
same with
No,
with
it's not.
robots.
It's like Madden. We're going to buy Madden 18 here pretty soon, but it's 17.
Okay.
It's just like Madden.
Sure. Either way,
The warranty expired 25 years
either
ago.
way,
It did, yeah.
she fritzes out, and he doesn't get electrocuted. It also kind of makes me wonder how she takes a shower.
She doesn't.
She doesn't. She doesn't get dirty like a person does.
She just
She's-
expels whatever, like the Apple Watch. It just...
You just wipe her down with a moist cloth.
so she's got a little speaker.
Yeah.
I
You just hit the button and just...
oh,
it-
hit the button and
Yeah,
be
see-
out.
I don't know.
this is why we don't have sex bots yet.
Oh,
Oh, that's why.
Yes, they have not developed the technology for expulsion.
Good. Fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Also, want to note this girl was in Thrashing.
Yes.
oh,
Yes.
all right,
She was in Thrashing and the Twin Peaks movie.
Yep.
So...
okay.
Pamela Gidley.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she was the girlfriend in Thrashing.
Yeah, so she shorts out, and it's like I guess he went to like all night repair
He
guy.
goes to creepy body shop man
Yeah.
who's just got a house of horrors of androids all over his place. Just android heads with their mouth in like this screaming, like just and just propped up all over the
Yeah.
place. And
But he goes, I can tell. You're not like the other guys that come in here.
you and me,
Yeah.
we're the same. You and I.
We're romantics.
Let me show you what I got.
Yeah, we want to
romantics.
yeah. We want to fuck our robots gently.
I can see
Tenderly.
you got good taste.
Yeah.
So come into my showroom and let me show you what I got. And they get on this little cart with like 2 lawn chairs on it.
Yeah.
And just go through this tour of here are all the sex bots I have, which are all varying degrees of gross.
Yeah, and one he points out is like the kitchen bot, where he's like, it's domestic bot. It'll do your taxes, it'll
Yeah.
wash your dishes, but there's nothing going on underneath the waist.
Why would anyone want that? I mean, unless
Maybe
you're just
people
done,
really
with
want
life.
their taxes done.
I'm saying in future past of this movie, how was that sold to anybody as like a thing?
That's probably why it was left over in his garage.
Probably,
sitting
yeah.
there.
But no, he jumps off the ride and it just goes back to lovingly stare at the dead carcass of his sex robot.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, well, they probably got him out in the wastelands. You could probably
Yeah,
go
he's
find
like,
one.
I know a guy who knows a guy who could maybe find you one, but it's gonna take some effort, man. But he's like, here's the chip, because her ear is folded back up, and he pulls out it looks like a little CD about the size of a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, everything's on here, and you know how valuable this is, right? Like they don't make these anymore. These are but this is all her personality. Everything's on there. So you just pop it in a new one, and
You're
same
good to
old,
go.
Same old bot.
Yep. Which, I don't know.
Yeah. But his friends are trying to get him over.
Oh yeah, 'cause
Over his dead sex bot.
He's frumpy at work, and they're like, "Hey, guy, sorry about your sex bot. Want to come down to the bar?"
Real women.
Yeah.
You just got to fill out the paperwork
Yeah.
for them. Woo!
Which, by the way, we started to try to explain this world. They don't completely explain this world, but apparently, actual real human sex has become like a legal nightmare.
Yes.
That like. You think
Just
they're-
like 2017.
You think like when you go to this club, you think
Yeah.
that like these ladies are prostitutes, and you realize, oh no, these guys that are running around sort of like they're pimps are lawyers, and they're like running around like, all right, I got your contract, and
Yeah. But like ladies have demo reels that they're showing to guys like, here's me with Steve. See what I'm doing with Steve?
doesn't that look great?
Yeah. Because like one approaches, the main dude, Treadwell, and he's just like, I don't have any credits on my card. And she's like, well, why am I talking to you?
Yeah,
Oh.
she gets.
His card's expired.
Oh, okay.
Because he's had a fuckbot for however long.
Right. He doesn't need sex credits or whatever.
He's had a vintage fuckbot.
Yeah. Yeah. So the thing I like, and this is one of
It
those
was an
movies.
investment.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. You got to invest in the futures of sex robots. But like, so when his friends try to get him to go to the club, they just rattled off like 8 names of the stupidest fucking clubs you've ever heard of. And
One
this
was
one,
the Clue Clue Club.
They end up going to the Clue Clue Club. And like one of the pimp lawyers is Lawrence Fishburne, who's just negotiating this deal with one of his friends and this lady who apparently works with them or something. And it's just a really gross back and forth of like how much oral sex will be happening and if there will be morning sex and things like that. But yeah, he's just not having it. He has no interest in any of this, and he bails.
Yeah, he's pretty much like goes home is like late at night staring at the neon sign. Is like, I've got to do something about this.
Yeah.
because he has, and it's weird because like this is 5 maybe 10 minutes into the movie, and he has flashbacks to like the first 30 seconds of the movie.
Right. He remembers when he
Yeah.
murdered his sex
And it's
robot.
like, wow, really? We're seeing this, and then all of a sudden there's another scene altogether where like
Yeah.
the guy took him aside and was like, "Hey, I shouldn't be telling you this, but there's a chance that there's some cherry models out in Zone 7.
Yeah.
It's like it's super dangerous out there, but I'm just telling you that's where I got a guy that'll get out there and see, just give it a few weeks.
Yeah, you got to get out to the glory hole, is what he tells him.
Sure.
You just
Yeah.
got to man up and hit the glory hole.
So yeah, he hops in his Hawk and starts heading towards the glory hole, which we realize is the name of a town because he's just passing by the street signs and
Adobe
it's,
Flats.
yeah,
And
Soda City.
City.
Soda City.
Yeah, Soda City, Adobe Flats, and then it's like there's glory hole, and
And then there was like edge of legal zone.
Yeah,
or
like-
something
It's like
that.
glory hole is 10 miles, 15 miles is point of no return.
I think it was like end of law
yeah.
red line or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he pulls into this weird ass town where there's
And
just
it's
like
suddenly the old west.
yeah,
Sure.
there's just old beardy cowboys sitting outside just
But
like
not
There's some cars,
traditional-
some horses.
Like I mean, they're wearing like shiny
Yeah.
like Vegas style versions of cowboy outfits. Like because if you watch
Rhinestone
the movie,
cowboys.
yeah, if you watch the movie, like you realize like they're getting closer and closer to the ruins of Vegas, and so like you have to think like these guys were like, we're just gonna be cowboys out here, but all they got were like shitty sequin
Yeah.
Vegas cowboy outfits.
yeah, they
And so
raided
that's-
some wardrobe department
Yeah,
somewhere.
so that's like kind of what they're wearing, but it's still all dusty and shitty looking. So,
Yeah.
but every once in a while you're like, oh, that guy's shiny.
yeah.
Because he rolls into town and all of a sudden he's got a shotgun. I don't know where he got that, but
He packed it. He brought it along.
He brought it with him.
oh,
Yeah.
did he? I saw him load the, like
Just
the
everyone
handgun.
has
Yeah, but he's got the shotgun, and he's also got like a bandolier of shells on him too, and it's like he's suddenly like I gotta look the part here.
Yeah.
I want to look like a bounty hunter or some shit.
and he rolls into this glory hole hotel or whatever.
Yep.
And he goes to the hotel first to check
Yes.
in before he goes to the bar, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so he goes to the clerk and it's just like, I don't know, talking to him, and he says something like, I'm looking for a cherry model, or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, she tells him first, like she's like, no robots after 11.
Right.
we got our own robots here. Don't
Yeah.
bring any in here. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And
And
he's,
Robert Zadar is in the background, like,
he's wearing like a button-up shirt, but not buttoned up, short shorts, and some sort of tool belt, and is just proudly just like standing there, just like, take a look at me.
Yeah.
I'm fucking Robert Zadar over here, and That's kind of it for a while. You're like, wait, is that it?
Yeah, but this is young Robert Zadar.
Oh, absolutely.
So he looks good.
Yeah.
He does not look like the Robert Zadar that we get in a lot of later movies.
No.
Right.
He's almost normal man size.
Well, yeah.
Zadar.
And he's big and buff. And
Yeah.
he's like, put me in short shorts and no
Yeah.
shirt.
Yeah.
We're good to go here.
Yeah. But so Treadwell goes up to his room and like he sees across the way like the name of the tracker.
Tracker, yeah.
And he goes over there first because that's where he was told to go.
Yeah.
And the tracker slogan is "I never say no." So he just kind of
E. Johnson.
yes,
Never say no.
never say no. And he just goes in.
And he's like,
Yeah, because he was doing it again. He was like, I should probably wait till morning. He's like, nah.
Let's
It's
get
middle
this
of the night.
done.
I got to get this
I
done.
need my Cherry 2000 now. So yeah, he just kind of breaks in, and
well, he doesn't really break in. He knocks on the door.
yeah,
And nobody answers, and he just kind of pushes it open and walks
Okay.
in.
yeah,
And there's a fire going in the fireplace.
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking around at all these tchotchkes everywhere.
and then he's accosted,
Yep.
and it's Melanie Griffith.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, revealed by light.
Yeah, he's like, I'm looking for E. Johnson. And she's
That's me. I am E. Johnson. You know, just
it's
imagine Melanie
Oh.
Griffith's bad acting, not emoting all the time,
Yeah.
and it's like, all right.
like, what do you want E. Johnson for?
Yeah, it's just poor Melanie Griffith. I mean, she's pretty.
Yeah.
She's a nice looking lady, but
Yeah, she got mauled by a lion.
yeah.
In Roar. BMFcast own Roar.
Right.
No, but
He does the typical like, oh, I must be in the wrong place.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm E. Johnson. He's like, yeah, okay.
Okay, where's your father?
It's like, oh, what do you? She's like, no, I can do the job. What's the job?
I need this sex robot.
Yeah, and he's like, I need to get out to Zone 7. There's a sex bot. I want to fuck it. And
I can't
she's-
fuck my old sex robot because I electrocuted
fucked it to
I
death.
need a new sex robot so I can fuck it. In its robot vagina. Do you understand?
and
Are
she's
you
like,
following me?
And she's like, I don't think that's a good idea. And he's like, well, what happened to never say no? She's like, well,
First time for everything.
I didn't
I'll
say
think
no.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah,
then
but that's just a bad slogan for her to have.
yeah, it's
You know, because I mean,
as a tracker.
there are some unscrupulous dudes in that town. They'd be like, hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah. But like
I can think of some things that you can't say no to.
she gives him
Right?
yeah.
She would shoot them in the face.
Yes,
She
and then
would.
she would shoot them in
Yeah.
the face. But she wouldn't say no, would she?
No.
no.
She'd say, yes, I'm going to shoot you in the face.
Blam.
Or no, she'd say, yes, I'm going to shoot you in the face.
I'm contractually obligated not to say no. Kapow.
Your death absolves me of saying the N-word, which I can't even say right now.
Well, no.
That other N-word.
Okay. All right.
The one that's just 2 letters.
Anyway,
The opposite of yes.
she
I
gives
can't
him
say
some
it because I can never say it.
My God. She gives him some information about other dudes who might be able to help.
Yes. Well, does she really?
She does. She mentions. She
Oh,
talks
okay.
about Jake.
Okay, that's true.
She's like,
Yeah,
well,
she
there's.
says there used to be Six Finger Jake.
Yeah.
I knew him before. I knew him while he was still Six Finger Jake, but he's
Right.
not Six Finger Jake anymore. Maybe you can find him. However, there are also other trackers.
Yeah,
but
there's-
she doesn't really mention them by name.
No, she's just like, that bar over there is filled with them. Just why don't you go in there?
Just a packed full of assholes. In there.
It really is.
Yeah.
'Cause-
And he wanders into this bar. And like one guy comes up and is like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm Treadwell." And it's like, "Cool, where are you from?" He's like, "Anaheim." And all I don't know why they're just like, "Ah,
yeah,
Anaheim."
Yeah.
They do
This
the
folks-
typical like Western thing when he walks in, the
Yeah.
piano player stops
Yeah.
and everybody turns around and looks at him.
This is why I don't walk into bars, because they're going to ask me a question and the record's going to, and then it's like, I'm sorry, I don't know the cool thing to
Just
say.
don't say New
Yeah,
York
but-
City.
Yeah. But he says, I'm looking for Six Finger Jake. And they're like,
Yeah.
Jake's dead.
Yeah,
Where are you from? And then Anaheim.
yeah.
And that
They
breaks
named
the
their
ice.
hockey team the Ducks. What the shit?
That town ducks. Anyway, that breaks the ice, and everybody starts laughing, and
They
the
just go back
jukebox
to-
spins
Yeah.
back up.
And he goes up to the bar, and the guy immediately is like, what do you want, Anaheim?
Yeah. Like, what do you want to drink? What kind of donut do you want? Because this is a weird
He goes like,
bar.
give me
and-
he goes, "I'll take a rum, 151, and a cruller."
yeah.
It's so good. good.
And you're like, wait, did he order that? And then you're like, well, that
yes.
must be a weird Sam
But
Treadwell
then-
thing.
Yeah, but then he looks over to the corner and he sees Brian James.
Brian James,
He's like, hey, come here.
who is just fucking majestic. I mean, he's
he's
Wild
so
Bill
good.
Hickok, just long flowing hair, big bushy face, and it's just like, oh man, they did some work.
a big bushy beard?
So he walks over towards him and passes just this ridiculous cavalcade of like beekeepers and knights and just whatever fucking like matadors, whatever costume you could think of is just they're all
Yeah.
sitting around playing
and
cards.
the bartender was wearing a clear vinyl jacket.
Yeah, like American Psycho was about to happen
Yeah.
in there. So yeah, everyone's got their own look, top hats, monocles, all this shit. And he gets over to Brian James's table, and he's sitting with another dude, and he's like, "Well, don't worry about him. He's deaf. He can't hear anything."
Yeah.
And
That dude's just chewing away on a donut.
he's like,
and we're like, yep.
sit down, have a drink, have a donut." We're like, what the fuck is this place?
God, I want to live in this future so bad.
Bars should just have plates of donuts everywhere.
Oh
That
my
would be
God.
amazing.
100% agree.
Soak up all that booze and put more booze
Let's
in
just
you.
open up a donut bar.
Okay. Yes.
Fuck our normal jobs. Donut bar.
Fine.
Okay. I'm in.
Let's do this.
Time to make the donuts.
But Brian James is basically like, all right, well, let's go. You lead the way. Let's go outside and we'll get
Well,
started.
no. He's like,
Oh, he's like, Jake's
I
not
can
dead.
take you to Jake.
He's like, I heard Jake's dead. No,
He's like,
Jake's
you
not.
got the money on you, and he's like, maybe I do, maybe I don't. And he's like, all right, well,
Let's go out. We'll
Yeah.
find out. Let's go outside.
so
And they go outside and immediately just
in
they
the
get
world's most predictable
Yeah.
mugging.
Yeah. I thought you were deaf. No, I read
can read
lips.
lips.
Yeah. So they're gonna hold him up, but then Melanie Griffith shows up and puts a stop to that. And that's it for Brian.
No,
James.
actually, no.
No,
he
she
like,
doesn't.
No,
he
he
like pushes them into a sign. They fall all
Yeah,
over
but
each other.
they
and
get
he
his
runs away.
shotgun.
Yeah.
Because he tells
That's right. Okay.
he tells him drop your gun, and they both drop the gun.
Yeah. It's like, not you,
And he
idiot.
picks up the shotgun. He's like, God damn it!
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
All right.
He throws
He
them
throws
through
a
some sort
sign.
of like some sort
Yeah.
of sign and
Mm-hmm.
gets away and basically runs around the corner and Melanie Griffith is like standing outside like sort of by her car and he's
Right.
like, I've changed my mind. I'm going to take you up on that whole thing because the main reason he didn't want to go with her is she was basically like, yeah, I'll go, but you're going with me to ride
Yeah.
shotgun.
Right.
He's like, hell, I am.
Yeah.
No,
No, you're taking
I'm
care of
hiring
this.
tracker. I'm hiring a tracker. You bring me thing. And
Yeah.
she's like, no, I don't work like
That's
that.
right. That's right.
So that's really why he went exploring his other options.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so she unfurls her.
Well,
like,
and also because she was a girl.
a little bit. I think he got over that because
No,
she did the cowgirl roping thing and
Oh, right.
Yeah,
yeah,
but
he kind of sort of
it-
changed his
It,
mind.
it was 90%. I'm not going with you.
It's still-
I'm a big giant pussy.
Yeah, but the other
The other 10% was, ew, girl, real girl.
because
ew.
this movie is very specific on that point.
Yeah.
Throughout, like
Yeah.
it's a very, very thick running theme throughout this movie.
But yeah, she rips the tarp off this car.
and
Yeah,
it's
it's like
like pseudo futuristic Mustang.
Yeah,
Just
but
a bunch of
kinda
pipes on
jacked
it.
up.
Yeah.
But she's like, okay, we're in the car now, and your job is to sit there and don't touch anything.
As she flips 900 switches to get this thing started up.
Yeah. And this begins the whole thing, the trope of character who has hired an expert to do something and then has to verbally second guess literally everything the expert does
Yes.
because just so there can be exposition. But this immediately starts, what's the car? Why don't you have lights in the car? What do you do? How are we
Yeah.
going to get there? What's the plan? She's like, why don't you just shut up and let me drive?
Yeah, as a
Melanie Griffith is so good.
It's like she's here.
Yeah.
as
It's
a
like
male
she's
lead
here.
character, Sam Treadwell is the worst. He is
Milk toast.
just the worst. And he's written that way. It's not like
Yeah.
it's a bad performance or something. It's on purpose that they have made her the lead and him not because he can't fucking handle even talking to a real woman
Yeah.
because society has
He's
gotten
been-
so fucking weird.
He's been fucking a robot for 17 years.
Exactly. A robot that has 7 phrases in its memory bank.
Yeah.
And they act like this memory chip is just the most important thing in the world.
Chuck, it held all the sex moves. It's not
Okay.
the phrases.
So,
Sex.
headcanon.
You
This
train
guy,
that thing from the throat up, Chuck.
my headcanon for this is he's saved up for a long time to buy this Cherry 2000, and he's only had it for a short time.
Right.
He used to date Ginger, who we'll find later, but he kicked her to the curb when he bought this new sex bot,
Sure.
this new fuck bot,
So
that he doesn't have to worry about A, Ginger's weirdness, or B, talking to actual women.
Yeah. Or C,
So-
a woman's actual needs.
Right. True, very true. And he's only had her for like 3 months. That's
Okay.
why it's fucking useless.
Okay.
That's why it has just learned that things were invented in America.
All right. Okay.
But Melanie Griffith's Mustang, like, has the longest, like, future firing up sequence. Like,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It puts 60s Batmobile to the shame, because, I mean, there's, like, 17 switches.
It's like
and-
flight takeoff.
Yeah.
There's 15 switches before before the car turns over. Like, and then it's like this weird one. Like the emergency brake is some sort of weird like lever that becomes like the launch
throttle.
sequence.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's like they put it full throttle, and then it's like she has to release the brake, and it just goes. Like, it's kind of the opposite. It's all
Well,
go, and
it
then
spins
brake.
up the engine as
Yeah.
she's pulling that thing up. So
Yeah, and then she, like, lets off whatever brake, and it just, and just comically, like,
Yep.
blows out of this town.
it explodes out of that town, figuratively.
But yeah, they're just driving through the desert, and
Lights off.
lights off, and he's like, "How do you know where you're going?" She's like, "I just feel the road."
And he's like,
When-
but that's stupid. That's a dumb thing. This is stupid. He's just immediately just like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't buy it.
And shortly thereafter, she slams on the brakes and brings the car to a stop. And is that when they first see? Yeah, they look at kind of across a canyon or something.
Well, they're
where
going
do
to
they
hit that
stop?
first barricade.
Yeah,
oh, that's
there's
right,
just
the
a
barricade.
gang
That's right,
of
the barricade gang.
And
first.
she's
random
like, put this
dudes.
helmet on, keep your head down.
Don't
You
get shot.
Don't get shot because we're going to go through this barricade.
Yeah.
And it's just this checkpoint of bored dudes that she just basically explains they got nothing else to do, so they built this barricade.
And they try and shoot anybody that gets near it.
Yeah. And they just explode right through there, and they murder a couple of dudes along the way.
Yeah. Does he shoot the gun at all at that point, or is it after
He's
that?
holding
Sorry.
He
one.
shoots some gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just his handgun. It's the other gun
Okay.
he had left. So, but yeah, they get through there without incident.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it does set
do
the
some,
hood on
you know,
fire.
do some Wild West stunt spectacular guys falling off.
Oh,
of
yeah.
things, but yeah,
Yeah.
Eventually, like they just they go through and the hood's on fire. But
Yeah, it's like a 30-second sequence.
Yeah.
It's not anything.
If that, it's
It's real
super
quick.
quick.
Yeah.
Super quick.
You're like,
but then it's like I guess he falls asleep because it's like the next morning, and they stop, and he's like, "Where are we?" And oh, good, you got some sleep. He's like, "Cool, I'm going to get some sleep. You keep watch."
yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, no, I'll just
Wait,
drive.
no, when are we getting there? We need to get there now.
Yeah.
We need to go because I haven't fucked a sex bot in like 48 hours now, and it's really getting to me, man.
And she's like, chill your fucking balls, man. No one drives my car.
I'm
You're
going
gonna sit
to
here.
sleep. You
Yeah.
stay here. No one can drive my car.
My buffer
Don't-
overflow is almost full.
I thought she was a robot. I was pretty sure at this point, for
Oh.
some reason, that she was a robot.
Having seen this cover for 30 years,
I
always
thought she was Cherry too.
Everyone
Exactly.
thinks she's Cherry
well,
2000.
I mean, she's got red hair,
Yeah.
and she's on the cover, and it says the name of the movie on the cover.
and she's the star. You just figure star movie title, red hair.
No, it's kind of like you think Van Damme's a cyborg, but he's not.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yep.
But yeah, so he of course can't not wander off while she's taking a nap.
Well, he just sits around and listens to his sex bot
Right.
having sex with him.
But only her side of the conversation.
Yeah. And her moaning.
Yes.
And that's when Melanie Griffith wakes up for a second and is like, what the fuck kind of pervert did I pick up here? What is going on?
Yeah, she's like, you sex bot people are gross. Like, I don't get this at all. Like, what has happened
Yeah,
to
like, well,
society?
she never says it,
Yeah,
but the look on her face says it all.
yeah. She's you
Where
know,
she's like,
she's real salt of the earth, and
yeah.
everyone else is terrible.
But he sees something happening across the way of this. They're on the other side of some rock quarry or something.
Oh, it's this huge, like BJ said, it looks like the back of the.
Looks like the back of the titty twister from Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, it's just this giant hole in the
And
earth.
Yeah.
he hears either a gunshot or an explosion across the quarry.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's kind of trying to watch it, but he's standing on the top tier of his quarry, in plain view. If they were to look over,
Yeah.
and just kind of out of nowhere, it's a cameo by Rubber from the movie Rubber.
Yep.
Now this tire just comes rolling from off screen and basically bowls him over at the knee, and he's just like, "Ugh," and like falls into the quarry, but just
and
falls.
we're like, well, that's the end of that guy.
He lets out just a good and then you're like, what?
But it was Melanie Griffith who threw the tire at him and knocked him down. It is basically like, I thought
Just
I
knocked
told you
him
not
down
to,
one level.
Yeah, thought I told you not to run away. And
Knocked him down a peg.
they're hiding behind the tires, and they're kind of watching this, and she's like,
Yeah.
that's
Lester.
Lester, he and his gang, they're kind of crazy. We should probably get out of here and go another way.
Yeah.
So they just
Yeah,
sneak
we
away.
need to avoid them because they don't like trackers.
Yep.
And this is them, like, they push a van off of the edge of
There's a guy in the van.
quarry. Yeah.
They've come across some people they don't like,
Probably a tracker.
and they put them in this just truck,
Yeah.
delivery van.
But they just toss that van, and that thing just pancakes when it hits the bottom.
Yeah, like it loses all structural integrity.
Yeah.
It makes up for it not exploding because this thing just becomes
Just
a piece of
crumples.
paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like, you don't want
You don't want none of that.
Let's go. Let's get out of here. So then they the next day, daylight, they end up in another weird area like that.
Yeah,
Some
but
sort
these
of-
guys are running. It's that same group that runs it. But she's like, we have to cross the river here.
There's like graffiti and there's a flag and it's like something. There's something up with this area, and she's familiar with it enough to where she just assumes that here's how you get across here, which is there's a guy operating a crane, and he just drops the magnet down on your car, and I guess that takes you across.
Yeah, but they also, one of the guys calls Tim Thomerson, who we have not seen up to this point.
Nope.
And apparently he gets called mid-sex, I'm assuming,
Yes.
because he just kind of pops up. He's like, what? And they're like, there's that redheaded tracker and some guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, kill him. Get rid of him.
Yeah.
Dump him in the river. I don't care.
And then he's immediately dragged back by whoever he's having sex with.
Yeah.
Just pulled back.
Just yanked out of frame.
Yes. And he's like, damn, woman. So that's a weird first introduction to Tim Thomerson.
Yeah.
But Tim Thomerson gets even weirder. So that's like nothing. Yeah, so
So this begins, I guess, the biggest action sequence of the movie.
This is the most action sequence. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot going on here for a long time.
None of it makes any sense.
Yeah, because their
It's
car
all
gets picked up
garbage.
by the magnet on the crane.
Right.
And she's like, okay, get ready. We're going to have to do some stuff now.
Yeah, because like she's barely gotten like Dukes of Hazzard out the side of the car to where like a rocket goes off by her head, basically, and you just see dudes are just shooting rockets at them.
Yeah. And apparently their car is really reinforced.
Super reinforced. It's
I think
fine.
I think most of them miss, but like 99.9% of them miss.
but he is handing her
They seem to have an unlimited supply of rockets.
right.
Because
But he from the back seat is handing her bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Well, she
weapons.
hands him an Uzi, basically, and is like, all right, Treadwell, get going.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of providing some cover for her while she's shooting rockets
Right.
at some of the dudes.
Yeah.
But then she loads one up, and like these guys are shooting them from a butte, from a plateau.
Yes,
it's a real beaut.
it is.
But yeah, I
And-
mean, at this point, I mean, it's like a fucking tow missile he hands her.
Yeah, she nukes that butte from orbit. I mean, that thing is fucking.
Gave him the old butte nuke.
Butte
Yeah.
nuke.
This thing, like I wonder like what the deal was as far as destroying this, because I mean this is
It had to be a model. It had to be.
No, I think this was an
I
actual
think
like
it was
I think
an area they were
an
destroying.
actual
I think
rock
they just
structure.
I think they built up a bunch of sand or something
yeah.
with a giant explosive inside it.
Yeah,
maybe.
because like the guys that were supposedly on this, they're annihilated. They're vaporized because this whole thing gets vaporized. But yeah, she nukes that, and then there's guys like on the side of this dam thing that she shoots at, and
He eventually bullet sprays the crane operator.
yeah, she tells him to.
Yeah, she's like,
"Okay,
take that guy out.
Take that guy out now.
And so he does.
Yeah, because she's hooked the winch of the car up to the crane, so even if the magnet drops, like they're not going to drop.
Yeah. And like during all of this, like there's obviously like she's not doing any of it, Melanie Griffith, but there is a car pretty high up off the ground that a stunt person is crawling all over.
Yeah, this stunt person, holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit, stunt person.
Because them dangling from this crane goes on a long time, and there is constantly at least one person dangling from this car.
Yeah, and there's no camera trickery as far as like doing the height or anything. Like it's a long shot of this thing's way the fuck up there.
Mm-hmm. And there is a shot where, well, because so he kills the crane operator. Well, the crane operator in death is, as you said, the biggest asshole because as his dead body is spasming out or whatever, is constantly hitting controls to where, like, at first it becomes demagnetized from the car and the car starts to plummet, but because she wrapped the tow cable to it, it's still dangling to this crane, and the person hanging onto the windshield just flops over and crashes into the hood as the whole car goes over. I mean,
Yeah, that's a crazy stunt.
yeah. There were some insane people working on this movie. Like, really insane.
Some of them just behind the camera.
That too. But, yeah, so now the crane is just really out of control.
Yeah.
Because the guy, the dead guy is just pushing.
He's basically like, I'm going to do everything to continue trying to kill you, which is basically like lower the car down. It's like this river sort of becomes a drain pipe thing.
Yeah.
But it almost goes straight down, like,
Yeah.
pretty close to straight down.
It's like a water park ride.
Yeah.
I mean,
and so,
it's-
like, they get the car and it lands upright, of course, because why not movie? And so, like, they're just kind of slowly being lowered down, and then they hit the end of the crane cable. And Melanie Griffith is like, here, I have a rope. We have to climb the rest of the way down.
he's like, not without my stuff.
Right, yeah, he Princess Vespa's his way out of this car, and it basically, like, of course he's trying to fucking carry the suitcase, and that's not a good idea when you're trying to lower yourself down a rope, and he goes,
With rushing
with
water
rushing water
under
at your
your
feet.
feet.
Yeah. So he basically
It's
makes the
Russian
water
water.
slide all the way down, and they hit the bottom, and she's like, hope you can swim.
Yeah. Should have asked.
Ha ha.
But, like, a spotlight hits them immediately.
Yeah.
And they just swim over to where the spotlight is, and it's just this
It's old dude.
yeah.
An old prospector.
Yeah. Ben Johnson.
Oh, there.
Ben Johnson, who has been in a million movies. And a couple of donkeys. Just on this little...
Ben Johnson's been in a couple donkeys.
That's pretty rude, Chuck.
A million movies and a couple of donkeys.
Two separate ideas, guys. Ben Johnson, been in a bunch of movies, comma. Also on the raft are a couple of
okay.
donkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Oxford, comma, Chuck.
Yes.
But yeah, they're climbing out of the water, and he's like, hey, Johnson. Good to see you here. Who's this with you?
Yeah. Oh, this is
She's
Sam from Anaheim.
Yeah.
And he's just like, Anaheim, Jesus. And she's like, yeah, he's looking for a sex robot.
Yeah.
Well, ain't we all? Come on aboard.
Yeah.
I almost shot you.
Because they go back to his lair, where he is the king of toaster ovens, where he just hijacked a train full of toaster ovens.
Hey, Jack. He found them fair and square.
Right. But he has a palace of toaster ovens, thousands of toaster ovens. And he's just got a sweet little like living room next to this babbling brook, with a fire and
He's got a nice rug.
Yeah.
Really ties the whole layer together.
yes, he's got
He's just toasting some rattlesnake in his oven.
but
But it's like comically posed in like about to strike, like suddenly hit it with the liquid nitrogen mid strike, and just I'm gonna put that in the oven.
yeah, because Sam is like, so you got a lot of toaster ovens in here, and he's like, yep. He's like, well, do they all work? And he's like, of course they work. I wouldn't have them if they didn't. And then he starts rattling off all the things they're good at, because he's like, yeah, if you want to make toast or open face sandwiches or rattler. He just opens this thing up, and it's just
It's not even like prepared rattler. It's just like he coiled up a rattler
Yeah.
with his mouth open.
just ready to go.
Flash froze it and then put it in
But
the
it just
toaster
pops it
oven.
out, ding, and they're just like, save me the tail, or just whatever. And he's just like,
I talk about the rattler.
and Sam's just like, nah, can't we just have some of that toast you were talking about? Yeah, and then they're just chatting away and just giving all
Munching
the
on some
details.
snake.
Yeah, just like, Sam here really wants that sex bot. And I don't know. Sam goes to
Yeah,
bed.
they give
and
him some
he's
shit.
listening to it again, and she's like giving him looks like,
Yeah.
what is wrong with
Well,
this
they
guy?
they give him some shit about like, yeah, banging robots. You people in your contracts just to have sex.
Yeah,
Yeah,
their
you
demo
city
reels.
people.
And, yeah, because Sam goes to bed or whatever, and then it's just him and Melanie
She's
Griffith talking. And she's just-
Theoretically, like, already been like, hey, look at this dude. I
Yeah.
think I like him.
But I mean, because she's asking questions like, "So,
What are city girls like?"
Yeah, what do they do in the city to attract a man?" And he's just like, "Well, they got demo reels and lawyers and shit.
Yeah.
You don't want none of that."
Not like these sex bots.
Yeah, and
Yeah, and they have a little moment where they're both awake in their sleeping bags and kind of look at each other, and it's like he's still clueless. Like, I'm going to turn over here and listen to my dictaphone.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Because dicks.
Yeah, it's like phone sex.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
But they get up the next day, and I don't know. He's during this at one point, the old man takes off his glove, and he's got 2 fingers, and he's like, "Oh, you're 6-fingered Jake." And he's like, "Well, not really anymore, but yeah, kind of me." So he's Jake.
Right.
Shocker.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't really like to publicize it, but
Yeah.
kind of retired.
Kind of retired.
Yeah, I'm not dead, retired.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they wake up the next morning,
Mm-hmm.
and 6-Finger Jake is reeling in some carp out of the
Yes.
reservoir.
He's loaded up his donkeys onto his raft. He's out fishing.
Right.
Because the donkeys.
Yeah, and he's
help.
just like, and of course, Sam's just like, we got to go, man. We'd like,
Yeah, I need my
yeah.
fuck bot.
yeah.
I saw your naked back last night, girl, and I need to fuck.
I saw the swell of a breast.
Yeah, I can't finish
need a
unless
fuck
it's
bot.
inside a sex bot. All right.
I am so turgid right now. God damn it.
I can't finish unless it's with an artificial finish bot.
Oh, it's got that true coat.
Right.
Yes.
They sold him the undercoating.
Well, you better.
Well, you got it. You really
especially
do.
you can't get the thing wet.
Yeah.
You better turtle wax the shit out of it.
Yeah. So he can't finish without useless trivia.
Nope.
So
Where was Vaseline invented? Oh my God.
so he is just like, we got to go. Like, we need to get to this thing. I know they're there.
Yeah.
And she's like, and even Jake down there, he's like, I wouldn't go into Area 7 for nothing during the daytime. I'd rather get bit on the dick by a rattler.
And then cook it for dinner.
Yep.
Not my dick, the rattler.
Yeah. So he's like, we got to go at night.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
Mm-hmm.
So they have this plan where they're going to go in at night.
And it immediately gets busted. Like they're
Oh
up
my
on like
God.
they're up on like a dam or something.
Yeah.
And it's just immediately it's like floodlights and there's the gang.
All these dudes shooting at him.
Yep.
And he's like, and Treadwell's like, Sam is climbing around like in the rocks with a little flashlight and immediately gets hit on the head with a 2x4.
Yep.
Oh.
Comically off camera, 2x4 just comes into frame.
And all of a sudden, he's dressed in like a suit.
It's
It's like a seersucker suit. It's weird.
It's white pants, a black undershirt, and then a pink. So basically, a pink button-down shirt that's almost jacket-ish, that's covered in dominoes. Not like
Dominoes?
covered in pizza,
Yeah.
but covered in
Dominoes.
the tile game. Pieces.
Dominoes. When
It's-
you're looking
and
for
doesn't
a
he-
fuckbot.
And didn't they put him in like a
Dominoes.
little hat too? Wasn't he wearing a hat?
You know, he didn't have a hat
I do
yet.
not
Okay.
believe he had
No,
a hat.
He was not a
Okay.
member of the Hat Squad.
But
yet.
yeah, but he just wakes up and
Hat squad.
he's poolside, and there's these ladies sunning themselves by the pool, and there's a sign above him that says Sky Ranch, and he's like, "What the?"
It's like, what am I wearing?
Yeah,
Where the
it's like,
hell
what
am
the-
I?
And all of a sudden, this girl walks out, and it's like, "Oh, Sam, you're awake. Glad you're here." And he's like, "Wait, what?" And I guess it's his ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
Where he
Elaine.
goes, "Hey, Elaine, what the?" And she's like, "I don't go by that name anymore. My name's Ginger
I'm
now."
Ginger now, and I live out here, and isn't this awesome? Look at all this.
Yeah.
He's like, what in the hell?
And this is it's
Oh, it's fucking weird.
incredibly you are thrown completely off kilter because you're like, is this a dream? Is this like some Lynch thing going on? What the fuck just happened? Mm-hmm. Because he's fully presented in this reality of this this ex-girlfriend is like, oh, well, here, you want a sandwich? We're doing great here.
Yeah.
And
the pool is like surrounded by addicted to love girls. I mean, it's like it, and she's in this weird polka dot bikini, and she's standing by a telescope, and then she hears cars approaching. And she just picks up this whistle and blows it while making this comical face like, oh, dear God, that's a loud whistle.
But it's the alien police whistle.
yeah, but she like goes cross-eyed when she blows it.
Yes. And she's like, Lester's coming. I have to go get changed. And then just trots off.
Yeah.
To give an idea, this is also like this woman is like the weird discount, like Joan Cusack in some ways.
Yeah.
Like with her mannerisms, just to give you an idea of what's
yes,
going on
she's
there.
off kilter.
But it's
there's
also-
something wrong with her.
Yeah, but it's also presented like we should have known who she was, almost.
Kind of. Yes, it is. It takes a
Because
while
he-
for him to acknowledge
because like,
their
oh,
connection.
Yeah, he's like, oh, Elaine.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I think there was like a scene missing somewhere.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's weird. The script treats it like we know who it is and we don't. But yeah, no. Lester has returned home from murdering or whatever it was they were doing.
Yeah.
And
Lester's Tim Thomerson.
yep. And he is he is the leader of this gang of vacationing dads, basically.
Yeah.
It's
Vacation Murder Dads.
it's
It's like Vacation Bible School, but for dads.
it's just a bunch of dudes in
like Hawaiian shirts,
Just
and
vacation
khakis
outfits.
and yeah.
and he's obviously running this weird criminal empire, but also he's being super encouraging to everyone, like
Yeah,
giving them little pep talks and
He's almost like an evil golf dad, Tony Robbins or something.
Yes.
He's just like, you need to realize your potential, guys.
yeah,
And in some ways, he reminds me of the dad from Troll 2.
okay,
Like,
yeah,
it's-
he does.
it's-
It's
I
also
thought-
the hair.
I
He's
thought,
got the same hair.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
for a minute, I'm like, this is the dad from Troll 2, isn't it? I'm looking at him like, no, he doesn't look right.
yeah, he doesn't.
He
Look right.
sounds about right, but today is the day I discovered how much Tim Thomerson and that guy are alike. It's weird.
Yeah. But he's
Very
just
off-putting.
He's just like, oh, hey, Sam, heard a lot about you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Good to have you aboard. Come on.
Yeah.
come on, let's have a feast. And it's they have a big dinner.
Yeah, and he pulls out and he's like, I like you, Sam.
Yeah.
And he pulls out a picture. He's like, you know who this is? And it's the picture of Cherry 2000 that he's been showing off
everybody.
everybody. And he's had like in his jacket. And it's
And also, Robert Zadar is now at this table.
Yes.
So, like,
Yeah, just sitting next to him.
There are people that were in glory hole of the town that like
Yeah.
clearly knew he was shopping around for
Yeah.
this robot, but like they're doing that weird like almost Apocalypse Now thing where it's like we totally know why you're here, but we're just going to keep acting like we don't
Yep.
and kind of keep
Yeah.
welcoming you in. Yeah, it's
Because he's
fucking
just
weird.
like, so you work out? You look like you work out.
Yeah.
and he's like, no, I don't work out.
You
He's
should
like,
work out. You should totally work
You
out.
got to reach your potential.
Do you
Yeah.
even, do you
You
even
gotta
lift, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's like, you got a good frame.
Yeah.
You could do well working
Yeah.
out.
We got to eat
You got to
right.
watch your diet, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing P90X
Yeah.
and hot yoga
Yeah.
out
Grab
here.
some
It's
sprouts
just-
now.
Get some kale, bro.
Like,
So
it is just,
it's weird.
it's so great though.
Yeah, because like they retire from dinner. Like
But,
it's like
he shows him the picture. The point is,
Yeah.
he shows him the picture, and he's like, "You know who this is?" And he's like, "No, I don't know, man." And he's like, "This is a Cherry 2000.
yeah, got some
really
of these.
want these." Yeah.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of them, but we can't do anything because we don't have any of the discs. Womp womp.
Yeah, and he's like, oh wow, that's a bummer, dude. Sorry, you don't have any chips. I don't have one. And so dinner kind of ends.
Well, there's a dude at the table, and he's like, "See that guy down there?" Because there was
yeah,
this other weird guy that like had a golf club. He's like, "I'm going to play in
Skeet.
the something open."
Skeet.
Yeah, and
Who Tim Thomerson keeps calling a different stupid name every
Right.
time he addresses him. Speeman.
right,
Yeah.
He just keeps calling him some version
But
of
he
that.
has like green sunglasses,
Yeah.
but they flip up.
Yes.
And he keeps like flipping them up and down, and he's just like, "Skeet, what are you doing here, man?"
Yeah.
And
He's like, "Oh, I was,
gonna do the golf
I'm
thing."
going to play the golf thing. He's
hitting
like,
the links.
I think maybe you're a tracker. And he's like, "No, man, I play golf." And
Yeah, it's like, here, put this on your head.
yeah, well, yeah, they basically like,
They pass
well,
down.
well, he goes, "Not a big fan of liars, there, Skeet."
He's like, well, I don't know
Yeah,
what you're talking about. Blah, blah, blah. And so
He's
they're
like,
like, here, pass this down, make him put that on his head.
and they comically pass this brown paper bag through everyone on the table, despite being able to skip people. But it's just that like,
Pass it down.
Yeah.
And it's just got a
He
big
tries to pass it on to the next
Yeah,
person.
he's
They're
like,
like,
no.
And
and it's got a big bullseye drawn on it.
Yeah.
He's like, put this on your head. and then it just becomes a very friendly drag him over to this shooting gallery handcuff, post where you were gonna chain you up, and then
And he's like, "What are you guys doing? What's going on?"
yeah,
And he pulls out a gun, and Tim Thomerson's like, "All right," and he's just taking a beat on him. And he goes, "That's too much club."
yep,
And so he puts the gun away, and then gets a bow and arrow.
a lady delivers him a bow and
a
arrow.
compound
It's
bow.
Ginger that delivers it.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
and
She gives him a compound bow, which was going to drive that arrow through the back of this dude's head.
and he brings this thing down into frame in just the most dramatic motion of just wind up and pitch, and brings it down and just pulls that thing back and just arrow through that guy's face right through the bullseye. And he's like, "Huh? Sam? Cool, huh? Yeah, all right. Well, let's go to bed."
Sam looks like he's shitting his pants
Yeah.
right about now.
Yeah. And man, they cut to Sam is getting ready to go to bed or whatever, but they're establishing it's later, and they're all just fucking doing the hokey pokey. They're
Sure
It's
are.
a very wholesome vacation murder dad compound.
Yeah.
This is not a euphemism. It is the rest of the gang outside just doing the hokey pokey. to which
And then
Ginger comes into Sam's tent and is
Well,
just like,
Chuck, it's what it's all about.
well, yes.
yes,
But
she hokey pokeys her way into the room.
yeah, and she's just and he's just like, he's a crazy murderer, and she's like, don't push your ideals on me, man.
Yeah. Things are different out here.
Don't preach at me. I forget what the line is, but it's just he's like, that man's a psychopath, and she's just like, whoa, slow your roll. I don't care what you think. So yeah, he's got to get the fuck out of
Yeah,
there.
it's like, it's great out here.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I got to leave. I can't do this. And she's like, well, you do understand there's 3 layers of barbed wire and
Mines.
mines and electrified fence on the other side,
Yeah,
right?
you're not getting out of here.
Yeah.
And he's like,
He's like, oh, good to know. Cool,
yeah,
I'm
what
going
the
to
fuck
bed.
ever. I'm getting out of here.
No, he's like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
And then sneaks out and is dook, 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 through the camp and everything until he does the comical look behind him and runs stomach first into Robert Zadar and all of his magnificence. And it's just like, oh, I was just out for a walk.
Yeah,
and
check out all the
I was
stars.
enjoying. Look, there's Orion up
Yeah.
there, and,
He's like,
and
huh?
looks up and does the one in the stomach, one to the head.
Yeah.
And
And it
Robert-
works.
And he just totally
No.
falls over, and he's like, "Holy shit, that worked!" And then looks at
sees
his
it.
back. There's a throwing knife in the back of the guy, and
To which Melanie Griffith immediately runs up, pulls it out, like, I got this.
Yeah,
and
we
he's
gotta
like, oh, that didn't work at all.
I don't know
The
how.
way it plays out is so good, though.
Yeah.
Because we were all like, no.
Yeah, no, that didn't work.
And then even the movie's like, nope, it didn't.
You're right, it did not.
And he's like, "Come on, we gotta go." And there's six figure whatever his face is over there, just like he got the compound too. It's like, how the hell did he?
Yeah.
I just
How did
love
you all
that they're
sneak
in
in?
this parking lot so nonchalant. Like he's got a couple fucking asses with him.
Yes.
And she's just like, okay, I've got my car back,
Mm-hmm.
so we need to get going.
And Sam's like, I need to fucking blow this place the fuck up.
Well, and also what happens is when he talks to Six Finger says, yeah, I'm sorry, man. With everything that went down, I lost the chip.
Yeah, because it was on a burrow.
And then he is immediately like, well, fuck all this then. And
Yeah.
grabs one of the gas cans and just starts coating all the cars. And
He puts one
Pouring
in
it
the
everywhere.
B tent. There's a tent of
He puts a gas can sized Molotov cocktail in the B tent.
Yep. And then as they're driving away, he just starts shooting at cars, which all just fucking explode.
Yeah, the gas trailer, or whatever. Yeah, and which always works in movies.
And the B tent goes up, to which
well, Tim Thomerston was like, "I can't believe you're blowing up my cars," and it's like running down this, sidewalk thing, and all of a sudden the B tent blows up, and he's just like,
right
ah!
behind him.
Yeah, and then Ginger's there like, watch out for the bees, and he just stands up and his face covered in bees is like, just kind of falls out of frame.
yeah,
So the next there's a scene where I think where they're getting away or whatever, but I just want to cut ahead. There's a scene where they cut back.
oh,
and
it
she's-
kind of just cuts to the next day of little kids putting out the fires,
Right.
And you just see Tim Thomerson's back while someone Ginger's putting something on his
Yeah.
face.
Yeah, she's spreading aloe
Yeah.
on his face, and he's just all puffed up and
Yeah, he's
gets all angry and walks away, and she's like, "Ooh," to his face or whatever. Because for the rest of the movie, he's going to run around with big white globs of aloe or whatever on his face, and it's all puffed up, and that's how he will be for the rest of the movie.
yes.
Because bee explosion.
Correct.
They shot some B-roll.
Yes. So they're driving away, and immediately, like, at some point, Melanie Griffith gives up her rule about him driving her car because she just is like, I gotta take a nap, and he's driving the car, and she's like in his lap, like head in his lap, and he just keeps staring at her head and fucking crashes the car
into like a dirt mound, which the thing has like autopilot things that are going beep 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 beep. Look out!
Hey.
It doesn't actually engage the brakes, but it's like it's warning him, and he's just like, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
They still hadn't perfected Tesla autopilot in 2017.
So she gets out. She clearly has a head injury. And he's vaguely upset at her for some reason, and then they just kind of start making out.
he's like kind of like, hey, are you okay? And as he's asking her if he's okay, he's basically like grabbing her breast.
Yeah, he's like, are you all right, ma'am? Like holding, like cupping her breasts. Like, is everything okay here?
yeah. Nope, signs point yes.
He's going with sex bot protocol,
Yeah.
apparently.
And right before that, it's been established that she still has the chip, and she's put it in her back pocket. She's like put it in her belt behind her back.
Well, yeah, Six-Fingered Man gave
Yeah.
the chip to him.
Yeah. So
Her.
the cupping of the breasts leads to let's just make out.
Fucking on the car.
And
Or
he
attempt at fucking.
lays her down on this hood, which is just steaming crazy.
Yeah.
Like she should be dead. But
She's
no.
had worse, like
Yeah.
lions.
Yes, that's true. But she leans up against the thing that makes the sex noises, and that takes him right out of actual sex, which, whatever. To
He
which-
realizes that those are not her sex noises.
Yeah, he's like,
that's
oh,
his fuckbots.
well, no,
You
it's
lied to
like,
me.
It does the good evening, honey.
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
Do you know who invented Vaseline?
Yeah.
Yeah, to which he's like, you lied to me. You still have the thing. And she's like, yeah, well, blah. Whatever. I'm a real person. And that's not.
Yeah, I'm not a fucking robot.
Yeah. I have emotions.
I got
I
the
have
PG-13
range.
fucking in the word, not the actual act.
Yeah. But it's just like, whatever. Let's just get my sex bot and I can go home. And she's like, fine. Let's get your stupid sex bot. So,
They go get a stupid
Yeah.
sex bot.
yeah. So they.
Yeah, because
End
he
of
had
the week,
been
we're
he had been ready to call it off
Mm-hmm.
earlier because she had told him because he had thought the chip was gone. He's like, well, there's no point in getting the thing if it doesn't have the chip.
Yeah. But now he's
Yeah.
But
back on. He's
now they're
recommitted.
just,
But
they're
now
just
he's-
driving off into the desert towards Las Vegas or whatever it is, whatever dumb post-apocalyptic.
Yeah,
they
and they
they have to stop at a gas stop.
last
slash
chance
brothel.
Last
Yeah.
chance gas and brothel.
Yep. But it's Snappy Joe or whatever that she knows. Like,
Oh, she knows everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, Snappy Tom, who's
Snappy Tom.
Harry Carey Jr.
Uh-huh. From Gremlins.
yeah, and Snappy has a girlfriend, I guess, or whatever. I don't know what she's supposed to be.
Employee.
The brothel employee. She's the brothel.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well, it looks like somebody's coming. Time to get ready.
Yeah, so they
And-
hide.
Yes, they hide. And Sam gets there and he starts he finds like a vending machine and he's pressing the buttons and she.
Yeah, it's like a cigarette, like a vending machine cigarette.
And the girl comes out and puts the gun on him and is like, don't move. To which Melanie Griffith suddenly pops up behind her and pulls the gun on her, goes, don't move. And then suddenly, out of a refrigerator behind her, comes Snappy Jake or whatever his name
Snappy
is.
Tom.
Snappy Tom.
Snappy Tom kicks it open with a gun and he goes, don't move. And then all of a sudden the door kicks open and Six-Finger Jake goes, don't you move.
And then they're all like, oh, hey, we all know each other.
Yeah.
Hey, what the hell are we doing? Don't you remember this?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, yeah, okay, sorry.
And he's like, oh, Jake. Oh, man.
And then they're all like, he's here looking for a sex robot.
He's from Anaheim. Isn't that funny?
But then Snappy Tom tells the girl, he's like, why don't you go make us some food? And
Yeah.
she's like, no. And
No.
he goes, why don't you go shit in your hat then?
As he just merrily strolls out of frame.
Yeah, he
It's
doesn't
like,
even
well,
say it mean. He's like, well, why don't you just go shit in your hat?
Do. And he's gone. He just walks out of frame. Is the best line. His delivery on that is so good.
Yep.
But yeah, so
They basically sneak off and call Lester. Like,
Yeah.
hey, they're here.
no, Lester calls them.
Oh, is that
Lester
what it
calls
is?
them.
Oh.
Yeah.
He radios. He's just like breaker. Anyone
Yeah,
seen
because
these
earlier,
assholes?
like right after the whole non-sex groping session, they had two guys had come upon
Right.
them in a truck, and they
Yeah.
had shot up the truck and
Yes.
flipped it, and
grenaded them to death.
And he kind of saved her. You know, there was a grenade that got tossed right by her, and he jumps over the car.
Oh, he stunt jumps over the car.
Yeah, and tosses the grenade back at the truck. And,
which murders them.
yeah.
Yeah.
But but then this is when Lester's calling from the truck, like, where are these fuckers? They're in an orange Mustang, and at first, like, Snappy Tom's like, well, I don't know, I hadn't seen anything. The girl grabs it, she's like, they're here.
Yeah.
Hey, Lester, they're here.
He's like, oh well, okay.
I guess she likes Lester or something.
She probably wants to
It
go
was
hang
implied
out
that way.
and
She wants to go hang out in Vacation Dadland.
yes, I believe that is true. Yeah, so Melanie Griffith has decided she's going to put a plane together. There's this old shitty plane there, and Lester actually mentions it on the radio. It's like, make sure they don't put that plane together. And Harry Carey's like, that thing won't fly. And while Melanie Griffith is trying to put the plane together, Sam is basically like, you'll never build that. You're a girl. This is stupid. Just stop trying. Just stop trying.
It was the right brothers, not the right sisters.
You will never build that plane. And she's just like, whatever, I'm going to build this plane.
So she totally builds that plane.
Yeah, she totally does. And they're all like, damn, she built that plane.
Yeah, 'cause,
sweet.
like, it's like they kind of taxi it, and they're like, damn, the plane's working. And there's another point where Snappy Tom just, like, barks something to her, and he's like, go get the macaroni and cheese.
Yes.
And it's like, I don't remember what set that up.
Well, so what that was meant to do was to prevent them from getting on the plane and flying off. It was to feed them so
It was
that
to stall.
Lester would have enough
Right.
time to get there. But yeah, it's just the way he says that.
but he
Well,
was-
she fixed the plane. Get the mac and cheese.
But it's like she
like, that's a
apparently
weird
was
reaction.
already preparing it because like 2 seconds later, it's like running out like lunch.
Yeah.
I got mac
Yeah.
and cheese.
Yeah.
And Jake's like, oh, mac and cheese.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
the cheesiest.
pretty good.
Yeah. And he goes over there, and then basically Sam looks out and sees the cars on the horizon. It's like, oh shit!
They're making a beeline for
And
us.
he's about to tell Jake when that girl just shoots him in the back.
Yeah.
And then they actually have the shot of her standing over him, shooting him in the head,
Yep.
just to make sure that we know that Jake isn't coming back.
No, Jake's gone.
Yeah. And Sam's
Melanie
like,
Griffith is in the plane way off in the distance.
Like already taxiing, and it's like, come on,
Yeah.
run up, and he has
Yeah.
to run and dive in, and
And she's seen the trucks at this point coming towards them, and so she hops in.
Mm-hmm.
He hops in, and they take off.
I commented, I was like, I guess she didn't see Jake get shot,
She didn't.
but like she still seems
But she
pretty
didn't
okay
wonder
with.
why Jake. Yeah,
Yeah, she's
wasn't-
still okay with like kind of abandoning him or
Yeah.
whatever. But
Well, I mean, she's kind of used to it. It seems like them splitting up and
Right.
and
Yeah,
Jake
Jake's
takes
always
care of
just going
himself.
off on
him
his
just
own.
miraculously getting wherever, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're flying along, and he's like, "Hey, real sorry, but Jake's dead," and
She's like, what?
she breaks down as
she
best
shows
she can.
one emotion.
I should try to tear, and then the camera quickly pans off of that. So,
Yeah, and cut to Tim Thomerson.
yeah, Lester has shown up, and he's dressing him down. He's like, I told you to keep him here.
Yeah, he's
and
like, how?
I killed one of them.
Yeah, he's like, what? The plane? How'd they get on the plane?
Yeah.
He's like, you said it didn't work. He's like, it didn't. I don't know what she did. She fixed it.
Fixed it. He's like, oh, God, listen.
Yeah, and
I said I wanted him alive. You
Yeah.
killed this one.
and the girl's like, hey Lester, let's please respond, Lester.
Yes.
Lester. And he's like, Jake, better tell her to get out of here.
Yeah.
And Jake's like, you better get out of here. And then she's like, but Lester, what about it? I don't know. I'm just saying.
Follow me on
things.
Instagram.
yeah.
Yeah. And Tim Thomerson, like, you can tell he's just getting more and more frustrated with her, and finally just pulls out a gun, puts it on her forehead, and goes, you need to get a better personality. And then shoots her in the head.
Yeah.
Off camera, but,
Sure.
you know.
Still.
And then
And then-
leaves Tom. Just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
Tom's
deal,
like-
deal with that.
He actually says, sorry, Tom.
Yeah.
Like, I know that was your one employee. Yeah, so he's now leading this force of...
well, now Tom has to be the brothel as well.
That's true, and that's going to be awkward. for
He's
Tom.
snappy.
But now, so Tim Thomerson is leading this army of vacation dads who are in this bread truck.
Yep.
So, but they're not in the bread truck for long.
No, because he basically lowers the back and is like, engage the stunts.
Yeah. And so just dads on four-wheelers all go driving out of the back of this truck, and they all line up next to his Jeep, to which he starts giving them this pep talk. You know, it's like, we need to go take care of the situation. And then he just says some just random, casual, like, fortune cookie bullshit of just like, remember guys, life is an adventure. Just like this weird
That
random
kind of shit is what reminds me of the dad from Troll 2.
It's so strange.
Well, this
Just
is also like
non-sequiturs.
Ginger is riding along in the ATV that he's in, just like I pack sandwiches and
Oh,
like they
he asked her to, because when they were gearing up, he's like, Ginger, make some sandwiches.
like we're underselling how weird the interstitials in this movie are, where it'll
Yeah.
just be like, let's go murder him, but let's make sandwiches and stuff first, and
Yeah.
make sure everybody gets a sandwich, okay? Let's do the hokey pokey.
Because Tim Thomerson will say, it's like, oh man, we need to murder him, and then it's like, hand me a sandwich, and then just chill factor takes a sandwich, comes up, takes a big bite out of it,
Like out of a triangle cut
Yeah.
sandwich. It's just like the
Yes.
most little kid looking thing ever. Like I like sandwiches.
yeah. So eventually, Melanie Griffith and Sam, they get to the
casino.
remains of Vegas.
Yeah.
Basically, it's Vegas City, and the movie gets real blurry here because they're all miniatures shot on just the worst film stock to hide that they're miniatures. And this little toy plane is flying around this little tiny set.
Yeah.
But it eventually finds a place to land, and there are some practical sets of what appears to be top of casinos buried in sand. So it's not all bullshit. I mean, there is some actual practical work there. It's just not the whole strip. You just don't get that. So they kind of land near this.
They're just like the top of a casino there,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Hey, let's break this
Yeah, let's
glass
break
and
this.
just rappel down." And
Yeah.
they're in creepy sex doll factory world. I don't know. I'm assuming this was like
The basement of the sex casino.
Yeah.
a showroom or something.
Yeah.
I don't know the repair.
Yeah, well, they're
room.
all hanging up like they're on like at the dry cleaners.
Oh,
Yeah, they're all
Yeah,
in-
that explains it.
They're in bags.
Yeah, but not this movie.
Nah.
Yeah,
But it just becomes,
them.
we got to
looking
find the
through-
one that's a Cherry 2000 and not all these other stupid ass sex bots. Cause,
Yeah, and the whole time Melanie Griffith's like, we can't take too long.
yeah, we should really hurry. They're
Yeah.
coming.
And really, she oversold the whole like how dangerous it's going to be. Once they get there, you're going to only have like 10 minutes to find what you need before everyone like all the sirens are going off and everyone's there. And it's like it's nothing like that
If
at
they-
all.
I
If
think
they'd-
she was trying to talk him out of going here because she wanted to bone him all along.
Maybe. But it just seems
Okay.
like if they had never crossed paths with Lester, they could have gotten in and out of this place and no one would have ever been the wiser.
I
Yeah,
honestly think a
yes.
lot of this movie is like her stalling getting there, like just to spend more time.
Could be.
Because I mean, it seems like they stop an awful lot, and it made it sound like originally like we'll be there tomorrow night at night. We engage, and it's like, how the hell were you going to get through all of this shit in
No.
one like 12 hours or
Yeah.
whatever it was?
Yeah, but eventually he finds her.
Well, and it's like they're looking through like basically bags full of mannequins, and it's like it's probably in the one that looks like an actual human. And so yes, they open up and there's an actress in a bag, and
And he plops the chip in behind her ear.
And she's like, "Oh, hey,
oh,
honey."
hey, welcome home.
would you like some food?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's just like,
date?
yes. And then they can hear like, okay, they've arrived.
Well, somebody turns the power on
Yeah.
in the place, and all the things start moving.
And she's
because
like-
he's like sitting there making out with her.
Yeah.
And Melanie Griffith's in the background going, "Oh, for
Oh,
Christ's
for
sake.
God's sake, that's so gross.
You're not going to fuck that thing right here, are you?"
He would have.
He totally would've.
absolutely would have.
He
He
needed
100%. If she were not there, he would 100% have boned that robot.
Yeah. But then she's like, I told you, we need to go.
Yeah.
And
now
s-
you took too long, and they're here.
Yeah. So now it's Melanie Griffith and Sam and Sexbot running out of this place.
And they're being like they're running along this catwalk, and there's a point where like the two humans like slide down this pole. They're like, Terry, get the fuck down here, and she just like fireman's down this pole and goes, wee.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is oblivious to anything that is happening.
Now
She's
she's a
like
robot.
dragging a 5-year-old around.
Yeah.
She's a robot, and she's emoting more than Melanie Griffith.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like she is actually genuinely robot excited about sliding down this pole.
She is. She
And-
yeah. She
And
was
then it's just
programmed to have fun.
And then there's a point where they're running along the roof, still being shot at, and she's like, "I would rather be watching this show on TV,
Yeah,
or
don't-
something like that.
this seems
I'd rather
dangerous."
be watching this movie."
No.
Yeah.
But they eventually shoot enough people to get out and
Yeah,
get to the plane, and they all get on the plane.
Yes.
And Lester, like they get out. It's weird because they get outside, and Lester has stayed on top of the
Yeah,
skylight.
he never went in.
Yeah, and Sam goes, "Hey, Lester," and Lester goes, "Huh?" Turns around and he shoots him, and Lester falls through the skylight. And we're like, "Wow, that was a weird ending for our main bad guy."
Who was weird to begin with.
Yeah, but they all get in the plane and are trying to take off, and Melanie Griffith's like, "It's too heavy. We can't take off."
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, Lester has climbed his way back up, rappelled back up, despite being shot like a half dozen times.
Yep.
Along with everybody else, suddenly comes out with the bullet in the bicep deal, and they're all like, "All right, Dad Force unite and take out that plane."
Yeah, and Melanie Griffith is like, just lower the plane down. I'll jump behind that junk pile.
And he's like, "No, we're not leaving you. Like, we can't. No."
And she's like, whatever, bye. And then just kind of
jumps out.
plops out of this thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a stunt roll of any. It's just
She flops.
limp body falling out of
yeah.
this. Yeah. And then he's just like, all right, well, see ya.
Well, no, he gets in the air and he's like, we did it.
Oh,
and
right.
then he looks back and it's got Sex Spot's expressionless face.
He's
I
like,
don't know how you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
and he's like, oh.
Well, all right, I guess this is fine.
Yeah, and she kind of like leans up and goes, "I love you, honey."
Tugs on his ear.
Yeah, and he's like, "What?"
Yeah. It's like, I'm busy flying this plane. Stupid sex robot.
Yeah.
Not now. Yeah, but then he kind of looks down and sees them all kind of, shooting at the junk pile where Melanie Griffith is trying to, stay alive.
And she takes out a couple of them. But he's like, "Oh, God damn it." So he comes
Circles
back.
around.
Yeah, he swings around, and everyone's like, "What? He's coming back?"
Yeah.
And even she's like, "Really?"
Yeah.
Okay. And so he lands, and he gets out, and he tells Cherry 2000, he goes, "Go get me a Pepsi."
This product placement took me right out of the movie.
Yeah.
And
she
Cherry
goes,
2000 is a Pepsi?
No.
Yes.
And so she starts like wandering around the desert behind as he hops back in the plane and taxis it kind of like behind Melanie Griffith and is like, "Get in."
Mm-hmm. And they have some banter because they've been bantering about, like, you were too slow, get in here.
Yeah.
And then she gets in and he manages to start to take off. And, she's like, you came back. I didn't. Where's your sex robot? And you just in the background see Cherry 2000 just kind of wandering down this path. Meanwhile, Tim Thomerson, who is up near the top of the remainder of this hotel, this casino, whatever, is just, you see him just swinging this rope, like lasso style. And you're like, what the fuck is he about to do? And he just manages to lasso the wheel of the plane. And immediately you can tell, like, I didn't think this through because he just goes yoink.
Yeah, he gets yanked through the
That
through the
stuntman
little fence that's there.
Got fucking snatched.
Yeah.
You just see this dude go through a banister and just yoinked out of frame.
And then almost immediately is like,
my God.
I regret this decision. Oh, and also there's a giant statue. And he just goes clunk into like this big, like sort of like Roman lady statue thing. I mean, it's weird because like the artwork looks like it's supposed to be from Faux Caesars, but like the place says like pharaohs or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, he just like perfectly clunks between the breasts of this like statue lady and basically dies. Like hits it and goes and just falls over backwards and is
flops
hanging
back.
there.
And that's when Melanie Griffith goes, "Well, what about her?" And he goes, "Nah, she's a robot."
Yeah.
And they kind of make out. And then cut back to Elaine / Ginger on the ground.
They start making out while flying a plane in a dangerous situation.
Yes.
Yep.
They need to be paying attention. But yeah, so Ginger's sitting at the base of this statue where Lester has died.
Yeah, and he's just like hanging there like all awkward. Like the one leg is over the thing and he's like all twisted up and
Yes.
and the other and like the two henchmen, or I think they're both women that are left.
Maybe.
Are like, "Well, what are we gonna do now?" And they're like, "Lester's dead." And she's like, "Well, he doesn't get a sandwich then."
Yeah.
And then this is when Cherry 2000 walks up, and she's like, "Here, why don't you have a sandwich?" And Cherry like opens up the sandwich and goes, "Beautiful."
Yeah.
Pretty.
Pretty.
Yeah, pretty. It's like, what?
I don't know.
And then they just kind of leave them there.
Yeah. And then the plane just kind of flies off into the sunset.
And
Credits roll. Yeah.
Now we rate this bitch.
What a weird ass fucking movie.
I will say the soundtrack is actually really good
Yes.
for this.
There's
But
no
like,
songs
like
in it,
the
but-
score is actually well done, like memorable stuff, and sells a lot of the scenes really well.
This guy did RoboCop. Hunt for Red October.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Basil Palladores. Did Conan, that's the one you should be pointing to.
Okay, fine.
I mean, Conan the Barbarian is a fucking badass soundtrack.
I know.
Yeah.
So is RoboCop.
Well, this one's pretty damn good.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
Definitely not our usual '80s trash like synth bullshit soundtracks that
No.
we tend to get with stuff with Tim Thomerson in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready.
Whoa.
Yeah,
All right, go,
let's do
CJ,
it.
go.
World first.
Do it.
Go.
Two Jocks. This movie is weird as shit, and it's really hard to follow, sort of. It's not good, but there are enough moments in it that make you go, what? Melanie Griffith is blank. Our lead dude, whose name I continually forget, is kind of blank. Snappy Joe, Snappy Apple, Snappy Tom is magnificent, and so is Six Fingered Jake. Those are the guys you watch the movie for. But you have to see this. It's just so weird that this movie exists. Like, it's almost to me like Tank Girl. Like, how did anyone make this movie, and how did it look? I mean, because it looks all right. How did they get enough budget to make it look as good as it did? It's just one of those you have to see, even though it's not that good. So it gets 2 Jocks.
Okay.
You ready to go? I mean,
I can.
okay. I wanted to dovetail.
Go
off
for
that.
it.
Okay, so I'm going to give it 3 Jocks.
Okay.
My reason being is like, I think if I watch this once or twice more, I'm going to begin to fall in love with this movie. And for me, this movie kind of sits perfectly in the middle of, like, I adore Tank Girl, and I feel like this is going to sit right in the middle between Tank Girl and Buckaroo Banzai in terms of my, like, I don't understand it, but like that's how much I enjoy him. Like saying for me, Buckaroo Banzai is the lowest and Tank Girl's the highest. I feel like this is going to be somewhere in the middle as far as like, yeah, the movie is like, how did this get made? How did you get all of these pieces and parts and things and budget together to make this? Would I maybe put somebody in the Melanie Griffith role instead? Probably. Like, I mean, I think it's weird because, I mean, if you're going to make your main character dude so blank, you need somebody...
Grace Jones.
Yeah, you just need somebody that's, like, is larger than life. I mean, you need a Lori Petty and Tank Girl kind of character. It's like you need someone that's just kind of fucking crazy and or like super cool. Like, just something that's not just, like, you can't have two blank slates like that, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I mean, I still like it, and I think I might tend to like it more if I watch it again.
Yeah. I can agree with 3 Jocks. I rather enjoyed this movie. I think it's just like Buckaroo Banzai, and I'm the bigger Buckaroo Banzai fan here. It has a spirit to it where it's just like we're gonna go for it and do whatever, and just damn the results. Whatever happens, happens. And sometimes a movie does that, and you're just like, oh God, fuck off! Like you're so up your own ass. I don't care. This never comes across that way. It's just like the odd bits are so in the background. They're not like shoved in your face. Like the donut thing in the bar is not, hey, it's a bar that sells donuts, huh? That's weird and futuristic. There's none of that. Like, and Tim Thomerson aside, like, I know that's probably why I'm thinking of this comparison. This very much feels like of the Empire Pictures era.
Yes.
It's not, obviously, but it just feels like
MGM and Orion.
it feels like it could have been from that studio. That studio would have loved to probably have had this much money to do something, and they would have done it probably even crazier, and there would have been like weird aliens and puppets and shit in it. But it's of that ilk of, like, when, you know, I know Trancers wasn't great, but there were moments in Trancers where you're looking at like the set design and you're just like, man, these guys are fucking going for it. And that's what this movie is, and I can really appreciate that. It's weirdly entertaining. That's probably the best way to describe it. That's my box quote. Weirdly entertaining. So, 3 Jocks.
Yeah. I was wavering between 3 and 4 Jocks, but I think I'm going to go 3 because the action scenes are bad. Like I can't get over that. But
they're interesting.
Yes, they are. Yes, but there's a lot of like bad geography stuff. A lot of just cut here, and we're not going to explain how that resolved itself. You know, that sort of thing.
Like, logistically, you're looking at how they're setting up action scenes. You're like, this is fucking crazy. But then they're just not doing enough.
And it's
with
also
it.
like people like their motivations don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like for what they're doing or why they're doing or why they're going here or doing that. They don't make any sense a lot of the time. But this is a lot like Streets of Fire almost, in that it would never get made today. Like, and it was just this batshit, what the fuck are you doing thing to it that's just so out there. And I mean, and just to think, like, the plot is basically the guy needs to replace his sex bot, but he can't replace it until he finds the same one. You know, and it's like I could get into the whole gender politics of it, which is even more interesting to me, in that pretty much everyone but Melanie Griffith's character is either, their function is either sex or food. Those are the only two things any female character aside from Melanie Griffith does in this movie, is provide sex or sandwiches. And
Sex or sandwiches.
Yeah.
The Cherry 2000
and
story.
the one that doesn't give either gets shot in the head. You know, like, there's just a lot of weird stuff going on. And it's one of those things, like, I don't want to, like, analyze it after one watch.
Her job was sex, and then
She refused to make
sandwiches.
She just wanted a better life in Tim Thomerson's
Yeah.
resort,
It's
basically.
Weird. But
Better sex and higher quality sandwiches.
anyway, sorry.
Yeah, but anyway, like, it's like Carlos said, it's one of those, like, I'd probably need to see this a few more times, and I certainly wouldn't mind seeing it. And it's also interesting, like, I almost wonder if Melanie Griffith, being the actress that she is, was intentional, as far as, like, we hired her because she's so damn robotic, and they liked that comparison as well. I don't know, but yeah, she's bad
I
in
think
this movie.
I mean, because Melanie Griffith was around for so long, I think especially at the beginning, people were like, she's pretty, and this movie needs a really pretty face in it. It was kind of sometimes either or at the time, and that's unfortunate to say, but sometimes you were just like, we need a really attractive lady with red hair. Let's do that. So
Maybe there seem to be a lot of interesting things going on behind the camera in this one.
Yeah.
And in the writing. And I mean, just think about where that movie starts. Is in a futuristic house where, you know, this guy has a sex bot wife and by the end of it, you're like in the Mad Max version of Vegas with these dudes with machine guns. It's just, it goes through so many different weird things.
Yeah.
That it's,
But I mean, you know, she had done Body Double, and you know, she was coming out of some bigger movies. This was probably
you just wonder if she just didn't give a shit.
maybe, or if it was
'Cause
just
she
like
got
we
nominated
can
for an
get
Oscar like the next year.
yeah,
So
it was just like we can get Melanie Griffith,
yeah.
star power.
Yeah, in '85 before they finally released it in '87.
Yeah,
I think this movie could be an excellent candidate for a remake.
oh, it absolutely could. So could Streets of Fire.
Yeah.
but no one would commit to it,
They're
and no one
too-
would do it right.
Insane.
Yeah,
It would have to be some indie dude with a financing or a lot of passion.
Yeah, it's just that weird high concept stuff we just don't get
Yeah.
anymore.
yeah.
But you could also remake this movie without it being so gross.
Or it could be about
Especially
anything.
in
It
the-
doesn't have to be about a sex robot.
Yeah.
Just make it about a.
It could be about
make
just
it
a robot.
Make it a robot dog. Make it the next John Wick movie. They've
it
killed
could-
his robot dog.
It could be about robot wife, as long as it's not like so overtly fuckbot.
Right. Exactly. Less overtly fuckbot next time, please.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just love that Melanie Griffith's acting was so bad in this that we were wondering if she was a robot herself.
Yeah. What's
I
that
thought
whole
she
Blade
was-
Runner
Would have
thing?
been the
It's-
most obvious thing, but it also, I guess the moral is you need to learn to fuck real women and not sex bots
or love.
or fall in love. Yeah, it wasn't real love because you weren't loved back. You know.
You can't program love.
How do robot love?
You can't coexist with a co-processor.
Ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha.
Anyway,
Okay, somebody kills Jokebot, and then we have to cross the desert to get.
There you
find
go.
the
We
new
have to get our joke bot back, and we realize we figure out that the lesson we should have learned along the way is we were all joke bots.
We're the
Yeah,
funny.
the humor was inside of us all along.
Right. Ha 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 ha.
oh, like the shingles virus.
Right.
All right, well, let's take a break, shall we?
Okay. Jokebot got
The laughter was inside us the whole time, like the shingles virus.
That'll be the last line of the movie.
Yeah.
The laughter was inside of us the whole time. And Maggie goes, yeah, like the Jingles virus.
Bam.
Executive producers. God damn it.
So, anybody got anything?
I do. Got pirate movies.
Cool.
Now, the back of the box says it's his android wife. So he married that fuckbot. So the future got really weird. So it was like the whole recycling push, the reason why there was no factories cranking out more sex bots, because
I don't know.
those resources were needed for toaster ovens or something? Because it seems like they were super popular. Some company could have been making more money.
I don't know. Maybe people just couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
I need to read the Cherry 2000 graphic novel to really understand
You
the
really should.
backstory here.
Yeah, you got to read the tie-in graphic novel to really understand how
Yeah.
we got where we are.
Apparently I do. I mean, Melanie Griffith worked. Like, you look at her filmography, it's not like
Yeah.
anyone ever caught on and was just like, you're not really that good.
What?
Don't start with me.
I just did.
Well, don't do it again.
All right.
Yeah. Don't you besmirch that. Yeah. I like the one that's just a cat. Where they
Yeah.
go,
Yes.
Meow. Meow, 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 meow. Cat Rock on Sirius XM.
Yeah.
Cat Rock.
So you got something?
I do. I have two movies.
I got one movie.
I got fucking no movies.
Evan, just because I'm saying certain people are bad doesn't mean they can't be in something good occasionally. It's just more good than bad. Or, more bad than good for their performance.
He just doesn't like Michelle Pfeiffer.
But I like What Lies Beneath, and nobody likes that movie.
No, for good reason.
Why? That movie's amazing. Okay. Fart noise over there.
Thanks.
It's one of the best modern Hitchcock movies besides Shallow Grave.
You're
There.
one of the
I
best
said
modern
it.
Hitchcock movies besides Shallow Grave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Should watch it again.
The trailer fucking ruined that movie.
I don't watch trailers. Didn't run shit for me.
Okay. The entire movie was in that trailer.
Okay.
Kind of.
Didn't watch it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ha ha. Ha ha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Jokebot 5000 welcomes you to the BMFcast.
I mean, Serpico's a good movie, but not really because of Michelle Pfeiffer. Most definitely not because of Michelle Pfeiffer.
You mean Scarface?
I said Serpico did Scarface. The other cool S movie with Pacino.
Yeah.
They're cool
S movie. I'll take S movie for 400.
Smoothie.
movies. I'll take blended beverages for 400. It's not smoothies. I can't chew my food, Trebek.
All right, welcome back.
Hey, BMFcast.
Bamcast.
BMF.
It's time for a second half.
Half number 2.
Let's do it.
So, we were kind of engaged this weekend, but did anybody manage to watch anything?
Nah.
We got engaged this weekend?
We did to each other. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a big joyous thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
4-way.
The polygamous cast is next. No.
Stay
Yeah,
tuned.
I watched a movie.
Oh, did you know?
It's old, so
Okay.
you might have something newer to discuss.
All right. Maybe. I mean, I've got a pair of movies that kind of tie together. So, one might argue I watched them backwards, both in terms of connection and release date, but I don't care. It's what I did. Don't tell me how to live my life. So, first I watched Everybody Wants Some, Richard Linklater's sort of quasi follow-up to Dazed and Confused, maybe.
Yep. Yeah.
It's a weird thing because I think it's a good movie. I don't think it's like 100% necessary movie. Like I think Dazed and Confused on a longer timeline has shown to be more than what it appears to be on the surface, kind of thing. Like I think there's more to it than just like a stoner comedy or whatever. You know, like a lot of people would like. I mean, how they were really trying to market it originally. Maybe with subsequent viewings, I might come around to Everybody Wants Some. I will say it's way better than the marketing for it made it look. Like I did see some. I tried to avoid trailers, but you can't miss some of them, and they were really playing up that like from the guys who brought you doobie smoking cool times, you know, and like
I love that movie. Doobie smoking cool time.
I mean, it's just. I mean, like the trailers were kind of fucking insufferable for that movie. But the movie is much better than that. I say it's not necessarily like a fundamental Linklater movie, only because of the movie I'm about to talk about, where this feels like a safe kind of almost return to sequel-esque kind of realm. Just like I made something crazy and life draining. I just kind of need to sort of fart this movie out. And like when I say that, I mean like him farting out a movie is better than most any movie I could probably make, you know. So I'm just kind of like I need to do something simple and you know mostly singular location, like something very simple, small eclectic cast. So whatever. I mean, Everybody Wants Some is good, and if you like Dazed and Confused and Linklater's talky movies, it's still a whole lot of fun, and it is much better than, like I said, than what the trailers made it seem like. I just don't think it's as deep as like Dazed and Confused really is, because I think that feels like a much more personal film. However, I was kind of reading a little bit about that, and he basically said it doesn't make sense as far as time period, so just get that out of your head, because it made me start thinking that like the next movie I'm going to talk about, which is Boyhood, that Everybody Wants Some was kind of more of a spiritual successor to that than Dazed and Confused. Because you have this kid who is just starting college and like going there to play sports, you know, and Everybody Wants Some, and then like let's take it from there, you know, kind of talking about his first year there. And Boyhood is Linklater's magnum opus of a movie that basically ends with an 18-year-old going off and to find himself in the world. So he was kind of like, yeah, this is like, what if that character arrived at college and met a bunch of crazy baseball guys, you know? So Boyhood is the one I really want to spend more time talking about, because if you haven't seen Boyhood, you should. Like, I find this movie absolutely essential viewing. It's hard to explain. Like, I think I probably can't say anything better than I tried to sum it up when I'm on my Letterboxd review. Boyhood is kind of like the other side of the coin to Terrence Malick's Tree of Life. Whereas Tree of Life like looks at childhood in a series of like dreamlike, almost waking memories, like, you know, like fragments of memories that you have about your childhood. This is like the waking life version of it, where it's coherent and, you know, you remember the things and it's all very detailed, but it still just kind of floats in and out in a it's a linear fashion, but just kind of like a, all right, now we jumped ahead a year or we jumped ahead 2 years. I mean, you just, at any point in time, we may pick up to something important in this kid's life. And the crazy thing about the movie is if you don't know, he filmed this movie with the same actors over a period of, I think, 10, if not 12 years.
Right.
Just got Ethan Hawke, got Patricia Arquette, got 2 kids, and various other random people, and said, I'm signing you up for a movie. It's not going to consume your entire life. We're just going to shoot a few things every few months for this long period of time. And I guess they all said yes, and this is the movie that you get. So, I mean, I think it's obviously a very important movie because I think the movie itself is very good and has something to say. But on a personal level, I just like when a filmmaker just 100% goes for it. You know, like Coppola making Apocalypse Now. Like, I'm just fucking going to go for it. I'm going to go in the jungle. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be hot. People are going to get sick. You know, like, just fucking we're going for it, you know? And this movie is kind of that. It's like, that's a spectacular undertaking to try to do, and then to have it come out to be as cohesive as this movie is. I can't even imagine the stacks and stacks of notebooks for, you know, script continuity and character, you know, things that were written in between the lines, between scene to scene, because there's like I said, entire years happening between scenes sometimes. So I mean, it's utterly fascinating. I mean, I don't really want to get into anything specific about it because I just think it's kind of one of those movies, like, the less you know about it. I mean, I knew about what I've said so far going into it, that it was a project that was done over many years. I didn't know that the characters were going to be in it for so long. I really thought they like got this one kid and that was about it. I thought the other characters were just kind of come and go and not necessarily, you know, like be like pickup shots or something like that. I did not know the breadth of the scope of this thing, you know. So, but yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, it's just, it's to me, it's like it's essential viewing. Like I know it's the only thing is like it's close to 3 hours long. So yes, it's a huge time commitment, but I mean, I watched it over 2 nights. It's very easy to do because you just pick the end of a scene, some time has passed, and you can pick it back up. You know, it's not for like, that's just my life. You know, I just didn't have that kind of chunk of time in one sitting to go for. Not that I wasn't interested in the movie. I was extremely interested in the movie. I was like, I need to go to bed now, and I have work and things I have to do. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a 5-star movie to me. It's fantastic. And like I said, I probably would have rated Everybody Wants Some higher were it not for like this being the movie that came off of this. I know I watched them backwards or whatever, but this movie just dwarfed that one by comparison. Is all I can say. So, yeah, like I said, I feel like every once in a while somebody comes along and just makes the movie that they probably should never try to outdo, and I think this is his. Like I don't see him ever doing something more impressive than this. You know, it's his Goodfellas, it's his Apocalypse Now. It's like, you know, this is the thing that you will be remembered for. Wow. You'll probably never do better than this. I mean, it'd be great if you did, but like you shouldn't try to. Like, just accomplishing this should be enough. This is this is your Starry Night.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway,
speaking of almost 3-hour movies,
I
watched the second Harry Potter movie. Harry
Yeah.
Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the second movie.
Yeah, basically the same crew, everything coming back for this one, but filmmaking's a lot better. It's a little bit darker. Everyone seems to have settled into their characters better in this one. However, basically all of the new characters they introduce are fucking insufferable. Like, I understand Kenneth Branagh is supposed to be insufferable. Like, that's the character.
Yeah.
That doesn't make him not insufferable. Like, just because you make someone annoying on purpose doesn't negate their annoyingness. But you couple that with Moaning Myrtle, which is just like one of those, like, fucking improv character overdoing things. Like, Moaning Myrtle is just, oh, fuck off. And then the 3 or 4 times Colin Creevey shows up, it's like, oh, fuck that guy too. And then there's Dobby, the fucking Jar Jar of the Harry Potter universe. Man, I had forgotten, like, I had blocked out of my mind how much I fucking hate Dobby. And watching it again, I was like, motherfucker. I forgot this guy's going to be in like all of them now. Fuck me.
Why are you watching this? It sounds like you fucking hate everything Harry Potter.
No, I don't.
Okay.
That's the thing. Like the new characters they introduce are terrible in this, and the performances, like Kenneth Branagh, the performance you get out of him is exactly what it should have been for that character. I just can't stand that character for obvious reasons, and I'm not supposed to like that character. But what they do right in this one, all of the effects throughout the movie are way better. Way better. The Quidditch match is better, even though what happens should have destroyed the structural integrity of that stadium and killed everyone in it. But that's better. All the kids' performances are better in this one. And it's still it's weird in that it's like 2 hours and 45 minutes long, but it goes quickly. Like, it does not feel like that long a movie at all in watching it to me. But it's also got the problem of all of the subtle shit that they set up in the book to when you get to the ending, you go, oh, okay, that makes sense, is gone. So you just get to the ending, they're like, guess what? It was this. And you're like, what? You're like, what do you mean? Like how did any... And they're like, well, let's explain it to you in a montage of all the stuff that was in the book, but we just kind of skipped over because it happened here and there, and we didn't want to do it that way. So I think you called it the Scooby-Doo ending again. Is they're just kind of like, oh, here's what happened.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, what? No, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas, and that's the thing, like comparing these to the books, where it's like there's a lot of just we're checking off stuff that was in the book.
Yeah.
And they don't even, like, some of the things they don't even resolve it. Like when Hermione takes the potion and it goes wrong, just like the next scene, they're just like, oh, Hermione's back.
Yeah.
Where they make it seem like when that scene happens, you're like, oh shit, she's messed up. They're like, nah, whatever.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of but the filmmaking is so much better in this one than it is in the first one, and it doesn't have the childishness that first one did, which is nice. But man, John Williams' score too is utterly phoned in on this one. Like I was kind of like, okay, I think that's from one of the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that all, like, this whole section was in the last movie. There's just a lot of just totally recycled stuff that is kind of a bummer.
His heart never seemed like it was ever into doing the Harry Potter music ever.
Yeah.
Like
It's like he came up with that one melody and he's just like,
Yeah.
all right, what prequel shit did I have?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he was doing episode 2 and episode 3 at the same time as these were coming out. So
Yeah.
I think there is a bit of that. Yeah. But I don't hate it. It's just like it's again, it feels like such a big missed opportunity with these things. And man, fuck Dobby too. Just fuck that guy. But
Totally.
But there's a few scenes they nail. Like they definitely nail when Harry finds the diary and the diary starts talking, like writing back to him, is just like really, really, really good filmmaking. And then they kind of ruin it by having him actually go into it. But just like the way they set up the diary actually speaking to him is really awesome. So it's like there's bits and pieces here and there that are like, yes, this is what this whole movie should have been, and it's just not. And it's also a bummer that Richard Harris died and that they had to recast Dumbledore, because he was fucking good.
He was.
Yeah. And my wife she's like, yeah, they're all right. She's like, I'm starting to understand Facebook quizzes, like which house are you in and all that sort of shit now, because like she had no knowledge of anything.
Your wife is me when I watch these.
Yeah.
I had literally no anything. It was just like, all right, let's see what this is. And it's like, yeah, okay, I get this,
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is like Alan Rickman shows up and you're like, just give me more of him.
Yeah,
Like show more Snape. Yeah, and he's barely in it.
Yeah.
And all he exists in that movie to do is basically subvert the trope of everyone like, oh, something weird and suspicious happened. We can't trust Harry Potter ever. And the entire school's like, oh, it's got to be Harry Potter who's doing everything bad. And it's, he's the only one who's like, it's probably not him.
Yeah.
So that part is kind of nice, but he's barely in that one too. And it's like, man, Snape's awesome. Bring Rickman back.
Yes.
And I know he gets more to do in the other ones.
He does.
Yeah, because he's Alan Rickman, and that character is important.
Huh.
Go figure.
Weird.
Yeah. So we'll see. See when at least the director changes, even though it's Quaron in the next one, and that still seems weird to me to think that, he made a Harry Potter movie and then he went and made Children of Men, which is like one of the very best movies of the past 20 years. So.
Yeah.
and I'm sure I'll be watching Prisoner of Azkaban going, show me some long takes. Give me some long
Done
magic,
with hot takes. I want long
magic
takes.
takes. Yeah.
Give me long takes and more Snapes.
No.
Yes. That's our new Harry Potter podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Do we have any correspondences?
We do.
I think we do. We should correspond.
I'd like to talk to the people.
La gente.
what's La Gente?
The people.
Oh,
The people.
Lion Tay.
Lion Man.
what?
Challenge me!
There
You know,
it is.
Roar with Melanie Griffith. Lion.
Ah,
What do we got? Who we talking to? Who's up? Go ahead,
All right.
caller.
We just got one here. We're gonna do this week.
Okay.
Steve like the bird heron.
hey, Steve.
Steve.
Says nobody does it better.
All right.
BMFcast. Steve like the bird here with squawking, not suched. Roger Moore passed away a few weeks ago, which is a whole load of suck. But the Broccoli family, or maybe just Sony, I'm not sure really, teamed up with AMC Theaters to show a double feature of Moore Bond, which is a big win. That and the proceeds went to UNICEF, whom Moore was an ambassador for. I considered watching Bond movies for charity my civic duty, and I will leap at any opportunity. It was a rainy Sunday afternoon, the day after my prom, and while everyone else in my grade was getting drunk at the shore, I was seeing a Roger Moore double feature with my dad. I regret nothing. Underline nothing. Nothing. The theater wasn't very full. There was probably less than 20 of us. I believe I was the youngest person there. Take a moment to imagine the type of people that would go to a Roger Moore double feature in New Jersey. Whatever you imagined, you are exactly correct. Congratulations. They showed the movies in reverse order, which I don't know if that's something that my theater fucked up on or if they just had the thought process of save the fan favorite for last. First was For Your Eyes Only, which, for my money, is not only Roger Moore's most underrated movie, but probably one of the most underrated Bond movies out there. It has some of the best action set pieces the entire series has to offer. The helicopter stunts are bone-chilling on the big screen, and most of the supporting cast is fantastic. I adore Topal in this movie, but I could live without Ice Castle's girl. We all could, Steve. Next was The Spy Who Loved Me. This is one of the Bond movies that kind of has everything you want. I re-listened to your recaps of both these movies, and you guys described this movie as a greatest hits Bond movie. It really has some of the franchise's high points, but it has an insane tonal problem. It's best illustrated by the score. Hamlish loved using some great classical pieces, quickly followed by music I'd expect to be in Cannonball Run, not a Bond movie. If you want some goofy Roger Moore moments and don't want the shit show that is Moonraker, The Spy Who Loved Me has them in spades. I really do love Roger Moore as Bond. His age does show at times. It's very obvious he's not doing 98% of his stunts, but he has charm for days. Even the worst of one-liners, he finds some sliver of redemption in. He's not my favorite Bond, but I do think his portrayal doesn't always get the credit it deserves. I also have to mention that the cinematography in both of these films are gorgeous. Apparently they both went through 4K restorations recently, and it shows. The Egyptian scenes in Spy are breathtaking, and the underwater photography in Eyes is fantastic. I could have easily watched an entire movie of just that, and Thunderball doesn't count. If you ever have an opportunity to revisit Bond, pretty much any Bond, on the big screen, take it. My dad and I had a great time. We could all use a little more 007 in our lives. Crash and burn, Steve like the bird out, sent via my Lotus sub.
Nice.
It's kind of strange to do a Roger Moore Bond thing and not do Live and Let Die. Personally, I mean, that's my favorite, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do think Spy Who Loved Me is kind of like
Yeah.
the general public's favorite, and I kind of think For Your Eyes Only is too. Like as far as because that one, I think a lot of people like how scaled back it is.
Mm-hmm.
It was insanely popular. It made a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
Well, and it had a good theme song
it did.
that was very popular as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, I mean, you want to say, yeah, it's a shame Roger Moore, that dude also lived a life.
Yeah.
I mean, he lived a long life and did a lot of charity work and was fucking James Bond for a lot of years.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, yeah, I know I'm in the minority here in this room of saying he was my favorite James Bond. He's my favorite James Bond. But that dude was just awesome. I really like Roger Moore.
Yeah. But like I said, the day he died, I was like, the man found gold in Spice World.
Yeah.
Like he was so good in Spice World, and he could easily have just been like, whatever this is, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Do whatever, you know. But he was actually really great in that movie.
Yeah.
and he definitely had the sense of humor you'd want for super dry one-liners. Because it didn't matter how shitty they were, he was easily the best out of all of the Bonds at delivering the worst ones.
Yeah. Connery always looked like he was in pain when he had to say some of those things.
Yeah.
He was just like, man, fuck this. Roger Moore wrapped his arms around whatever dumb line they wanted him to say.
Oh yeah, like Roger,
and
like if you
hugged
had
the
given
fuck out of it.
if you had given Roger Moore the Christmas Comes Twice a Year one, he would have fucking nailed it in ways Pierce Brosnan just never could even remotely get close to.
Yeah. Yeah. He loved that shit. I mean, he was... Anytime he did one of those lines, you could just tell he was just like... He probably spent a day in a trailer just saying it over and over again. It's like, man, how am I going to get this line out there? It's so good. But don't forget, he also pushed a car off a cliff with his foot.
Oh yeah, he murders that one.
Yeah,
dude.
and I know, like he said, you know, that he'd always had fights with the producers, like he didn't want his Bond to be fucking ruthless. But man, that one henchman fucking gets it. That's one of the darkest Bond moments, like of all of them, where he's flat out just pushes that car off a cliff. It's like, see ya, fuck you. So, yeah, he had moments, man.
Yeah, I keep inching towards redoing a Bond marathon, but I just don't have the time right now to do it. Even after I finish this Harry Potter thing, just knowing that that's 24 movies worth.
Mm-hmm.
I guess 25 if you count the Never Say Never Again, which I don't know if I'd wanted. I don't know.
Or 26 if you count the original Casino Royale.
Yeah, I don't think I can do those. I refused to do the original Casino Royale last time.
You've got a guide. You've got your own guide of you. You
I know.
what you can just do your own greatest hits tour and not suffer through the ones you didn't like to begin with.
No, because that's the thing about them. There's pieces I like in all of them.
Well, sure.
Even Octopussy has a couple things I like, despite being a steaming, heaping, garbage fucking shit sled of a movie.
Shit sled.
Whatever, dude.
It's terrible.
Octopussy's good.
It's terrible. Octopussy is
good.
a fucking abomination.
No, whatever. Fabergé eggs, motherfucker.
Yeah.
James Bond dressed like a clown running around a circus, put out a bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. It's so good. I know.
No.
I know.
It's not what I want.
We don't think you do, Chuck.
No, I get
but
it.
Okay. As we've said before, like so many people go into the Bond movies looking for different things.
Absolutely.
And you obviously have very different things you're looking for in those movies than I do.
Yes, I do.
No.
Yeah.
But it's
I like
also interesting that Octopussy is bad in a completely, utterly different way from Die Another Day being bad.
Yes.
Like they are horrible, horrible movies in completely, utterly opposite ways.
I will say they are completely different movies.
Yeah. And that part's just kind of that's what's cool to me about that entire series.
Yeah.
But man, what's really weird is I've really, for some reason, I have this itching to watch You Only Live Twice, even though I know it's not great.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something about like just being able to hear that score again and just all the.
I seem to remember, wasn't that one of my
Score is so
highest rated
good.
ones? I think it is.
Yeah, there is some good stuff. I just can't get over how.
Is that the
bored-
Moon Buggy one?
No, that's Diamonds Are Forever,
Okay.
which is bad. But
No.
it's bad.
No.
He goes. He hangs out in Vegas, and it's just
And Circus.
yeah. It's, whoa, hello, cat.
Cat wanted to be on the show.
Clearly. No, but the thing about You Only Live Twice is it goes so far over the top, but it still has my favorite thing in any Bond movie, which is the cat freaking out on Blofeld's arm when that bomb goes off on the wall. And if you're not paying attention, you don't see it. And Donald Pleasance just keeps going, like never breaks anything. And that cat is like
Murdering his arm.
yeah, like I wonder if they put armor plating underneath his sleeves for that scene, because holy shit.
That thing wanted no part of that scene.
Well, I mean, they just, to the cat's defense, they just blew up a wall behind that goddamn cat.
Yeah. The one person like who made the gif of that scene, and it just keeps kind of zooming in on the cat as it's freaking the fuck out. Oh, yeah. Someone with better editing skills than me could just whip together the perfect Bond movie. Just take all the clips and try to edit them together into some sort of cohesive something and make just the best thing ever. But that person is not me.
Why not, Chuck?
I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
You know how much flowcharting and ridiculous nonsense that would take?
Mm-hmm.
I freak out when people make fake trailers for stuff. And just think about the logistics of that going, no.
Nope.
So,
Yeah. But anyway, I think that's all we'll do this week.
okay. That's fine.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is it?
it totally is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's fine. You know what else is fine?
What?
This segue. Go to BMFcast.com. Email us, bmf@bmfcast.com. Call us on the Garfield phone, 9105-JOCKS-BMF, 910-556-9263. And go to our Patreon at patreon.com/BMFcast. Give us money so we can continue to do this. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, we appreciate all the donors we currently have.
We do. We hope we are giving you what you pay for.
If not, write us angry screeds
Yeah.
at bmf@bmfcast.com.
Yeah. Subscribe to the Patreon so you can leave a comment on the Patreon.
Exactly.
Complaining about the content of the
Pay us
Patreon.
$1 and then tell us why you don't think we're worth that dollar.
Right. Sounds like a plan.
Nope.
Let's get out of here, shall we?
Let's.
All right.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And this is BMFcast out. See you next time. Bitches.
Gadget.
Woo.
Oh, and don't forget, last weekend we're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia for the pinball thing. It's, I'm just got used to it. Oh.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Fury.
Bye, Fury. That's angry.
Is that the first time the cat's just hopped up on the table like that? During a show, at
During
least?
this one, the BMFcast Extra, the thing's on the table all the time.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
or
like
just
there's
hopping
empty
up in
chairs.
my
It's just
chair.
like,
Just like, hey,
I'm here.
I'm podcast now.
It's Podcats.
Yep, no, she's drumming.
She's licking her bits.
What? No, don't do that.
Don't
over
lick
there.
your bits.
Hey, none of that.
Ah!
She's got to keep them clean, man.
Yeah, clean them bits.
She was trying to get at that cable.
Oh, she was.
Oh, shit. Dat cable.
Don't chew dat cable.
All
Good
right.
night, everyone.
Guess I'll shut this down. Ha ha.
Have a
Uh-huh.
good week.
Oh, no. Joke bot.
Have yourself a merry little week.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
That could be the kickoff for our whole movie notebook ideas, is that the jokebot dying leads us on the adventure, and then we can do all our crazy ideas along the way.
So instead of a fuck bot, it's a joke bot.
Yes.
I gotcha.
Yes. And it causes the podcast to break, so we have to go on a cross-country adventure through the Badlands to Sector 7.
Right. we think we have to go get joke bot,
Right.
but really the laughter was inside us the whole time.
Jokes were
Right.
inside of us.
I get it.
Which we find out by